welcome back to the IMNerd podcast. I'm your host, Frazier. I'm here with my amazing co-host, Kenny.
Tired co-host.
You worked on Sunday? Is that what happened?
Oh, I worked on a Sunday, baby.
That's not supposed to happen.
That's not supposed to happen. That's the Lord's Day.
Exactly.
Lord's Day. LAWD.
I don't work on Sundays. I'm a corporate employee. I've been a corporate employee my whole life, so we only work Monday through Friday, and then weekends are always off. Although I did have a fuck-ass job that had me coming in on Saturday every 3 months. And honestly, okay, a couple things. One, I was commuting all the way to King of Prussia, and if you don't know, I live in Philadelphia. King of Prussia, with public transit, is like an hour and a half commute. So on a Saturday morning, getting up super early to get on a train, like bus, train, and whole situation to get to some place for an hour and a half
after COVID, post-COVID.
I don't even know what it's like because I've been working at this new company. It's not new anymore, but I've been there for 8 years now, which is crazy to think about. I was at my first job for 6 years, and I'm at my current job for 8 years. My first job for 6 years was in King of Prussia, and that commute was atrocious. I can't imagine what it has become now. Like you said, the pandemic has ruined public transit completely. So also driving, just by the way, this specific mall. So people might have heard of King of Prussia malls. It actually was at one point the biggest mall in America. And I think that it does flip flop between that and the Mall of America in Minneapolis. So it is a well-known, famous mall, but I didn't work at the mall, but I was an accountant for a company that is in King of Prussia in that area. And even if you drove, the commute was awful because you had to get on a highway called 76, I believe. It was either 76 or 476. People call it, I think it's just 76. People call it 76. It's terrible. Traffic is really, 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 really bad. So what's funny is that the bus that I used to get on to before I got on the train that I got on, the bus would get on like the highway, and I would be next to actual coworkers. I would see them like I'm on the bus, and we would be on the highway, and because we're not really moving, I would literally look over sometimes and just like see a coworker and text them, be like, "Yo, like I'm right there in the bus next to you." That's how absurd it was.
It was factually better to take the bus.
Yeah, no, 100%, because they have to pay attention the entire time. Whereas I'm just sitting there on my, at the time I was on my iPad.
And they're paying for gas, which is more than $2.
100%.
At the time, the bus was like $2.
It was $2, yeah. Because this is in 2012, 2013, around that time. So I'm in my super young 20s. And yeah, this time of my life, I do not miss it at all. Like, I don't know how I did it for so long. That was just such a bad decision. I wish I could go back and change that one thing. That's like...
Yeah. Ugh. You know what I miss? I miss like cheating transfers. Like I remember, because like when you get a transfer, you're supposed to use it like pretty soon after you get it, right? So for anybody that doesn't know, I don't know how this works in other cities. This is how it worked in Philly, and it doesn't work this way anymore because they changed the way you get on the bus. But you would get on the bus, $2 would be the ticket fare to be on the bus, and then you could pay another $1 to get a transfer, which basically was a ticket to get on the next bus you were going to get on.
Right.
So if you think about it, it's 50% off, right? Because instead of $4, or the next ticket's 50% off. Instead of $2 for that ticket, you're spending $1. But what I used to do, I remember, is like I would take a bus to work and I would get a transfer and then use that transfer to come home 8 hours later. And it's not supposed to work that way.
No,
you're not supposed to or allowed to use the transfers that way, which is probably part of the reason why they got rid of them. But that's what I used to do. I would get a transfer on my way to work, and then I would use that transfer on my way home from work.
That's absurd that you got away with that. I don't know how you finessed that. I don't know if that's white privilege or Kenny privilege. I don't know what that is. I'm still trying to unpack this because what you're doing is so absurd.
There's a method to it, right? So I don't know if I ever got caught and they just didn't bother because there's layers, right? What you do is you have your headphones on and you act belligerent to the world. You don't know what's going on. So I just walked in, handed them the transfer, and never looked back. Right. I just had my headphones on and went to the back of the bus, and like I never looked back. Like there was no stopping.
There is something to be said about committing a crime. Now I'm not saying that we did as a crime, but I know that's a crazy start, right? That's a fucking crazy start. There's something to be said about committing a crime, but doing it as though it's normal.
Yeah.
There's strength in just like doing something that is factually against the rules, illegal or whatever. But if you do it in such a way that you seem confident and just so sure of yourself when you do it, oftentimes you get away with it.
Yep. 100%. That's what I was doing. I was in the method. I was a method actor.
Yeah, and the worker, honestly, they don't get paid enough. So like they look down at the transfer and they see that this shit was stamped at 12 p.m. and it's now 8 p.m. So your transfer, they expire after an hour, right? I think that's how it worked.
I believe like the intended use was like within an hour.
Within an hour, because it used to be hole punched or whatever to show like what time the transfer, or like it had a way to tell you this transfer was given out at this time, so that if it's now 7-8 hours later, this transfer no longer applies. But you were like handing it with confidence, have headphones on so you can't hear what he says if he says anything anyway, and then you just keep walking to the back. There's people behind you who are now going to put in their fares, so he can't, the driver can't even like begin to get you, because it's like, fuck, man, like I don't get paid enough for this shit, man. Like I'm just whatever.
Yeah. Also, it's definitely like in hindsight a little bit of asshole shit, right? But in my defense, I was fucking 20 years old. You know what I mean? I was an asshole.
You were younger than 20. I mean, when I met you, I think you were 19. So like,
yeah, when we met, I was 19.
Yeah, because you're 1 year apart from me. I'm pretty sure. So, but anyway, you born in 90? Were you born in 1990?
91.
91. Okay.
Are you 89 or 90?
Yeah, 89.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
But I think the way it works out in terms of the months,
my birthday's in November.
Ever 1 year older than me. Yeah, because my birthday's in January.
Right.
So even though you're the end of 89, I'm the start of 91. So even though we skipped 90, you're still only a year older than me instead of 2. Like if you look at the years,
it seems like I'm 2 years older than you.
But the way the months work out, you're only a year older than me.
Yeah, basically, it's so interesting to think about that too, because so January 91, but I'm basically a year and in a month older than you.
Yeah,
that's basically what's happening. Like I'm 13 months older than you is basically what it is. But it crosses 2 years, but it's not actually 2 years. Because I'm like, you're like you said, our ages have always just been one off.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so it makes sense. And that's actually funny because it makes sense. You could go 10, 15 years, just assuming, like somebody could say, what year was Kenny born? You go, 1990. And you would say that because I'm a year younger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually really funny.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. I hated commuting. Public transit was really, really bad. Even when there was no pandemic and everything was operating at the way it was intended, I guess. Because at that time, when we were talking about 12 years ago or 13 years ago, things were just working the way they were supposed to work in terms of what the company was doing, but they were so bad still. You're over there laughing.
Really funny
what?
About you saying things working as intended.
Oh no.
Literally, our friend Medina, he's been mentioned on this podcast a couple times. Yep. Medina and Frazier used to be roommates.
Yep.
So Medina hit me up. So I was at work for multiple days. And I'm not supposed to work Sunday, but I was. But Medina hit me up on Friday. And he was like, yo, on Saturday, I'm probably going to come like visit your work. I'll come like hang out or whatever. And like, we'll hang out. And he was like, I'll bring my Steam Deck and we can play Rivals of Aether. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Come on down. And then he was like, how are the buses running, right? Or the trains, rather. Not the buses, the trains. Because, SEPTA's doing this whole thing where the train schedules were going to get changed because they didn't have enough budget, et cetera, et cetera. So he was like, how does the train run going to your work? I was like, it runs as normal. It runs the way SEPTA runs. Like, it's like, it hasn't gotten worse yet, but like, it's still normal. Like, it's SEPTA.
Right. It's normal for their standards.
So then he's like, all right, I'm getting on now, right? And then, I don't know, 2 hours, or I'm going to the train now. Like 2 hours pass, and he's like, I'm still waiting for this train.
No way.
He sends me a picture of like the LED screen that says like when the train's coming, and it says it's like 15 minutes later or whatever. And he's like, this is the right train, right? I was like, yeah, no, that's the right train. He's like, all right. And then like an hour passes, and he's like, I'm still waiting for this fucking train. And I was like, I might be like washed, like whatever, like just go home. He's like, I'll give it like 15 more minutes. And then like 5 minutes passed. He's like, oh, the train just came. I was like, oh, sweet. So it's already like an hour and a half late though, right? And it's because I messaged him. I was like, SEPTA's running as normal. Like, that's,
yeah, I mean, you're not
like
wrong.
I said. But then he gets on the train, right? And the train's going the wrong way.
What?
He's on the correct platform. He's on like the train that the side that he's on, the platform that he's on.
It's supposed to be going in the direction.
Going to this way.
Yep.
and he gets on the train and he gets like 2 stops in and he realizes
It's going
this is
backwards.
going the opposite way.
Yep.
This train is on the other track. It's one of those situations that SEPTA does sometimes where they're doing maintenance somewhere, and so they'll run both trains on the same track.
Oh my
He didn't realize.
God.
Dude, it was such a fucking wash. Anyway, he never came to hang out.
Oh my God. I would be so livid because I hate having my time wasted. It is one of my biggest pet peeves, especially by things like that, where he probably had like, I get a dopamine rush from knowing that I'm about to see my friends in person. It's one of my like joys in life, right? Like when we hang out, because especially now we're older, we don't get to hang out often. We actually just hang out maybe like once a year at this point, which is like, you know, we wish things could be better. Where we when we were younger, we hung out all the time. And kind of took it for granted because we just thought it would always be like that, because you don't know when you're young, you're short-sighted. You don't think about the fact that one day you're going to be older and life is just going to be...
You get so much busier.
Yeah.
On the bright side, we have it better than, you know, I guess past generations in a way, because even though we don't get to hang out as much as we did, we still, like, thank God for Discord is the short version of the story I'm trying to
Right, because like technically I hang out with you and everybody else multiple times a week. Like right now I'm looking dead at you, right? Like I see you every other day. I see your white ass every couple days. I've seen you like 4 times a week. So like, you know, I might not be physically there. Like I can't Shadori you right now, but I'm literally seeing you. And at one point, technology might advance to the point where I can. So, you know, I'm holding out for that day. But yeah, I hate when my plan to see friends gets derailed by circumstances that are out of our control. For example, last year the Airbnb, the Roach Airbnb situation? Was that last year?
Oh my God. I believe that was last September.
So it's over a year now. That I was about to not go to the Airbnb when you told us, like, yo, we got to the Airbnb, everything was fine, it's great. And then we went to go cook, we turned on the stove, and like a horde of Maxis just came out of the stove. And it was like, I don't know if you guys still want to come. We're trying to like figure it out. We were talking to the people who own the Airbnb, and they're like, they're going to deliver some roach spray in the morning and all this other bullshit.
It's just crazy.
And there's a whole podcast on this, by the way. So like, guys, if you're interested in hearing the story of the Roach Maxi, if you haven't heard it before, just go a year back and podcast.
It sucks because like we were stuck in the situation because like our friend of ours came from Australia. Like there's no way. Look, there was no way out of the situation. So it was literally just like, hey guys, just letting you know, like we're all still here. The hangout's still happening. But for anybody that doesn't show, I'd like fair warning: roaches afoot. Like roaches abound. So if you don't show up, it's understandable because there's fucking roaches everywhere.
Yeah. Now, granted, they were pretty confined to just the kitchen, but the way this Airbnb was set up, the kitchen and the living room are kind of one thing. They're only separated by a half wall, if you can think about what I'm saying. So if I'm in the living room, if I stand up and turn around, if I get up off the couch, turn around, I can see directly into the kitchen because there's only a half wall behind the couch that's in the living room. And that half wall is kind of like a little countertop thing. And then behind that in the kitchen is like a table, and then it's just, you know, the stove and all that stuff. So basically, like, the kitchen is not technically disassociated from the living room. They're kind of just one big room that has a half wall in the middle that's divided. That's really what's happening.
For the most part, the problem is just in the kitchen, but every now and then, little soldiers make it out.
Yeah, and so I'm really freaked out by roaches.
That weekend, we were also supposed to do the Hot Ones thing.
That's right.
And
bro,
you were going to bring a whole Hot Ones, like chicken wings and hot sauce setup to the Airbnb. And it was like, that's not happening.
We paid $150 for the Hot Ones 10 sauces. It was like, we paid $150. So $15 a fucking bottle of sauce. Each one was $15 if you do the math. We paid $150 using podcast money to get those 10 sauces, got the whole thing, was ready to do Hot Ones. We were going to make a whole thing out of it because we were going to have our friends around. Connie was going to be around. Danny was going to be around. Like Medina, like everybody was going to be around, and we were going to do Hot Ones in person because it would be much funnier to have like a group of people watching us do it, right? And like us going through the pain or whatever, like that, whatever reactions we might have. And that was the plan. And then day one, frame one, you message us and it's like, yo, situation, Maxis are in the stove, they're in the kitchen. The landlord or whatever is saying they're going to deliver some raid in the morning. And I was like, well, that's fucking ridiculous because one, why do I need to exterminate for your Airbnb? That's like, as the person who's renting this for the however long you guys are renting it, the week or whatever, why the fuck do I need to do that? Like, I don't want to do that. That's not, oh my God, I was so mad about this whole situation. I was like, they should just give you guys your money back. They should let you stay there.
Did not happen, by the way. Did not get our money back.
Airbnb's awful. I'm going to take this time to
Airbnb's
shit on
terrible.
Airbnb. I think I do this like every other week. Airbnb's fucking awful. I'm not doing chores while I'm on vacation. I'm going to say this as many times until that company's gone. I want Airbnb to go out of business. I fucking hate Airbnb, bro. I
sucks
hate it.
because it was such a good idea. And I think everybody loved the idea of Airbnb.
It's always a good idea when it's a big group of people. It's actually correct because a hotel cannot possibly accommodate 8 people, bro. You can't accommodate 8 people in a hotel. You can't. So it is the right thing, and it's made with good intentions. Unfortunately, people are trash.
Yeah.
And their places are trash. So what you have is slumlords, people who buy properties, they cheaply renovate them to make them look up to standard for Airbnb pictures, using all cheap materials, all cheap everything. They don't upkeep them. They don't have them properly exterminated. They don't do any of the actual work that you need to make it like hotels clean the shit every single day. I'm not saying the hotels are perfect, by the way, but to me, they're just better, like objectively.
Yeah, I do think Airbnbs, I think to some degree, should be held to whatever the legal standard hotels are held to.
Yes.
Because like you said, it's ridiculous. You get an Airbnb, like one of the things here, like I think this should be illegal. We get the Airbnb, right? This is the same fucking roach Airbnb. So this is before we knew it had roaches. I was already annoyed by it. We get the Airbnb. After you get the Airbnb, you get sent rules. This is after you give them the money.
Yep.
Like they get your money, you get sent rules as to what you have to do. Like Frazier said, cleaning and chores, etc. And like one of the rules is like you can't be loud after like 7 o'clock at night.
Yep.
It's like, bro, if I'm getting an Airbnb that has 3 bedrooms, imagine 2 people in each room, right? 2, 4, 6 at minimum. Let's say 6 people are going to be there. We're not going there to fucking knit. Like we're going, like it's a party. Like we're not going there to be quiet.
Yeah.
Like telling me I have to be respectful of the neighbors is fucking crazy. Like I'm not going there to do a quiet game. Like,
and I want to be clear. We're not even loud people. I don't want to make it sound, because I don't want people to take this out of context and be like, you guys want to go to a place and just turn the music up to max volume. We don't even play music out loud. That's not even our thing. We game, we fucking sit around, we talk, we tell jokes, we shit on each other, we shoot the shit, we do that kind of thing. We laugh really loud though. We get loud when we laugh.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're loud laughers.
We're loud. Kenny's a loud laugher.
The worst. I'm definitely the worst offender.
I'm black. I'm loud by nature. Like, I'm fucking loud as shit. Like, I talk loud. So, like, because I think I'm a little hard of hearing. So, I speak louder than a normal octave naturally.
Well, no, I think this is true for both of us. I don't think either one of us are hard of hearing. I just think we like our voice more than yours. Like, it's not that I have trouble hearing you. It's just, I want to make sure I hear me over you.
I love it because it's so honest. It's so honest. It's like, that's really what it is. Me and Kenny are naturally loud people. And it's so funny we end up doing a fucking podcast together. But like, we don't blast music. We don't go to a neighborhood and just like turn up 50 Cent. You say you a gangster, but you like, we don't do that. That's not our thing. You don't hear Go shawty, it's your birthday, like blasting from our Airbnb. What you will hear though is fucking hyena cackling laughs coming out of the spot. And that should not be something that is policed. I'm sorry. So I agree with you. I think that they should be held to the same standard as hotels. You should not be able to rent out a place that has a roach infestation, because that's what it was. It was an infestation. You should not be able to rent that out with no penalty. It's one thing if you genuinely, as the landlord, you haven't rented this property out in a while. It's been sitting there. It kind of was in a weird area anyway. It's just been sitting there, right? So maybe nobody booked it in a month. And so there's like this problem, this pest problem that you don't even know about because you also don't go there, because why would you go there when you don't need to? So I could understand, like, genuinely honest mistake. We had no idea that somehow roaches must have came in some kind of way. No one's been there in a month. I'm shooting them the most bail right now about it. I'm just playing devil's advocate. That's fine. But when we get there, when Kenny and crew get there and they say, yo, here's a video of actual roaches coming out of the stove. There's a maxi problem in here. This card is banned. I'm sending you a video evidence of like multiple maxis on the fucking run right now. And you don't immediately say, we're extremely sorry for this inconvenience. We will pay your hotel fee so that you can like have accommodations elsewhere, or we'll fully refund you and you can choose to stay if you want, and we'll deliver the roach spray or whatever like that. There should have been some kind of monetary compensation for what happened last year. And the fact that they did not do that tells me everything I need to know about Airbnb. I I would review, but I write bad reviews. I think I talked about this on a podcast before. I write really, really scathing reviews when I'm unpleased by any kind of service. When I'm displeased, I actually go on Google reviews and I just go hard. Like I write, and I don't finesse it. I just tell exactly what happened. But I wanted to be clear that like I really hate this establishment and it needs to do better. Airbnb needs to be review bombed by people who have actually had bad experiences, because I know sometimes people are so disgruntled they don't even have the energy to like do the next step.
We left a bad review. We definitely left a bad
Good.
review because I think the only form of compensation they offered us was they were like, at one point they were like, oh, if the stuff we sent isn't good enough, like you can go out and buy what you think would work, and like they would reimburse that. So they're basically like, you can go get your own like
I'm not a fucking exterminator.
Yeah, they were like, you can get your own extermination shit, and like we'll pay for that. Basically, that's the only thing they offered to compensate. It was like if I went to go get my own extermination stuff and pay for. You know what else is crazy? I don't remember how I talked about this in the podcast. I'm sure I did, but in the wall, I remember in the wall there was these things plugged into the wall when we first got there that I thought looked weird, and what I thought they were Wi-Fi boosters, because I know people have that where you plug it into the electrical outlet and it boosts the signal of the Wi-Fi. Basically, you have Wi-Fi, maybe it's not as strong and all over in the different sections of your house. And there's these Wi-Fi boosters that will like take the signal of the Wi-Fi and then extend it to make the Wi-Fi cover the entire area.
I actually have those downstairs because where the bathroom is, obviously like my bathroom's on the first floor, my bedroom's on the second floor. So the Wi-Fi can sometimes be a little shoddy when I'm in the bathroom, and I sit on the toilet for like literally an hour on my phone or iPad or whatever, and my legs will fall asleep. I can't have a bad Wi-Fi connection while I'm trying to sit there and praise the porcelain god. So I bought Wi-Fi extenders like 7 years ago for the apartment, and I know exactly what you're talking about. But you thought they were that?
I thought they were Wi-Fi extenders, and I didn't think much of it. And then obviously the whole roach thing happens, blah blah blah. It's not until the end of the trip, basically the last day, where I'm not even 100% sure how I came across this, but I was on Google, like pissed, doing all the things that I do, and I was in the process. Basically, long story short, I don't remember how I figured this out. Those things in the wall, just to go all the way to the point of maybe they don't know that there's an infestation. Those things in the wall, I go to find out, are like these sonic sound emitters that are supposed to like make roaches go away.
Which clearly do not work.
Is a complete scam. Shit like that does not work. It never works. And there was a bunch of them in the house. There was like, let's say 3 of them in the house.
Yeah.
So they knew there was a problem because they had these
preventative
things that are supposed to,
things, right,
to try to help prevent the roaches. And you could say, oh, that shows they were trying. But the thing is, before we went there was a group of people that rented the Airbnb out a couple days before us. And the day we were leaving, there was a group coming the day we left. So like by the time we left, they knew there was roaches there.
Yeah.
And they had no issue letting the next group of people rent that place out, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I can't deal. I just cannot. I cannot with that at all.
And the day we got there was a leak. There was water all over the kitchen floor.
What?
And
like when you walked in? Like frame one, you walk in and it's just like, this place sounds...
Yeah, there was water all over the kitchen floor. And so I was like annoyed, but I was like, whatever. Like, I'm so on the high of we're about to have the greatest week of our lives.
Dopamine rush.
Yeah, that it's like, whatever. We fixed the leak, whatever, no big deal.
Do you know where it came from?
And like, yeah, so there was a teapot or a tea kettle or whatever the fuck you call it. Not even a tea kettle. Maybe it is a tea kettle. I don't know. But yeah, one of those kettles that goes whistles.
That's a kettle. It might not be a tea kettle, but it's a kettle.
Yeah. So that thing filled with water and it was on the stove. The stove wasn't on, but it was like filled with water and there was water everywhere.
How is it?
So
that's so
what I end up realizing
like
essentially is that the kettle has a really small crack in it that's leaking water out of it. And so the stovetop has water, like has a pool of water, and there's water all over the kitchen.
Why do I feel like you guys walked into fucking Knives Out? Like, what?
Yeah, we walked into some bullshit.
Like, if there was a dead body in one of the rooms, like, I wouldn't even question. At this point, I'm finding out more lore about this Airbnb now. It's been over a year because this was September last year. I'm finding out about it more now, and it just sounds, I don't know. It just sounds like Knives Out, like a bunch of clues left around.
Yeah. It has lore. It was terrible.
But yeah, scams with those things on the wall that don't actually work. I actually bought those for my apartment too a long time ago because I always thought like, oh, plug this in. Hopefully it'll prevent something. But that just doesn't work. In the summertime, if it's really warm, the conditions are really nice, there'll just be a water bug every once in a while in the bathroom, and just I have Raid that I grab and I'll just spray. I'll just fucking spray it down because no matter what, when you live in a city, especially like row homes, and even not row homes, honestly, because homes in the suburbs that are in the grass, they have their own bugs too. Like Surfman tells me all the time.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of crazy shit. You can't prevent. I realize like you just can't prevent insects completely.
No, you're going to get bugs.
Yeah, you're going to get some kind of bug. Now, I'm not saying I don't have roaches. Like roaches is crazy. Like actual just fucking roaches that come from uncleanliness because that's what they come from usually. But like in the summer, absolutely, I'll see one of those 1,000-legger things. I fucking hate those centipede looking things. Like you kind of see like a shadow of something moving out the corner of your eye. I hate those things. I see those every summer.
I fuck with those. Only because they kill shit like roaches.
That's
like,
what I heard.
Kill other bugs.
But I don't have roaches, so I always feel the need to just kill them because I'm like, you're the only insect here. You're in the wrong. If you want food, you're in the wrong place. You know what my thought
process is? Like they're doing their job. Maybe I don't have roaches because they're doing their job.
That's possible.
I mean, maybe they're out there like in the paint.
I just have such a hard time sleeping. And I know that these things are more afraid of us than we are of them. But when it comes to insects in general, I am just so afraid of sleeping knowing that there's an insect around.
I want to talk about that. I don't know if that's true. Because you wouldn't think they're more scared of us than we are of them with the way flies act. Flies be acting like they can just go wherever the fuck they want. And as it's like once you notice a fly, they start getting active. They're like, oh, what's up? Like they want to be in your fucking face, landing on you. And then what's crazy is that imagine real life, right? Human life. Imagine if every time you walk near something, a giant thing fucking flew by your body trying to kill you. Just vroom, 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 every time you got near it. And you just like keep going near it. Like flies will get assaulted at multiple times. And they're like, oh shit. And they're like, they don't think maybe I should go somewhere else. Like I could get hit by a car. They just keep fucking hanging out. They keep being in danger.
Yeah, I think flies are a different case. They're the gangsters of insects. They really, like, in all seriousness, no, like, think about it. They really don't give a fuck who they antagonize, like, what they land on. Everything is their territory. They're disgusting. They just go and try, like, they don't care about anything. They throw their lives away. They don't give a fuck. They can see their friend die, and they'll go in the same exact vicinity. You know, most other things, if I see a human, God forbid, if I see a human die, I'm running away, right? Like, that's just a normal...
Yeah, I'm not going over there.
A fly will see you swat another fly and then just fly right at you. Like, that's just a thing that they'll do. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of flies at all. But I think in general, like, when I think about other insects, the crawly ones, like spiders, roaches, ants...
Yeah.
Usually, when they spot a human or a human makes noise, they'll kind of like run away. They'll scurry away.
They run away from it. Flies are like, I ain't running from shit. Like flies are fucking crazy.
Maybe it's because their lifespan is so short. Not to say the other insects' lifespans
they don't
aren't
value
short as well.
Life. They're just like, fuck it, I'm out here.
I think the lifespan of a fly is like under a couple weeks. Like it's like under a month or something like that. Like a fly only lives a couple months. Not a couple months. Like under a month. So life is really short. Like, if that's true, life is really, really short. And at that point, it's like, fuck. You know what it is? Think about an old human. Think about how old people don't give a fuck about what they say. They're disrespectful with shit. They'll just say the most outlandish thing to somebody straight up.
I was going to go the complete other side of the spectrum. I was going to say they're like drill rappers. You know what I mean? Like they don't give a fuck. Because you said they were gangster. Listen, nowadays, you know what's funny is I heard, I think it was Ice-T. It was like a random Ice-T interview. And he said the last gangster rapper was 50 Cent. And I kind of get what he's saying when he says that, but like he clearly hasn't heard drill music. Them motherfuckers are gangster. Like them motherfuckers are gangster as shit.
Yeah, 50 Cent was involved in actual like gun gang violence, you know, shot 9 times. Everybody knows that. He survived it. And then he's been at the head of his ops for the last 20 years. Like he has not ever calmed down and stopped talking about Ja Rule. Irv Gotti died this year.
Yo, when Irv Gotti died, he's so fucked up, bro.
Yeah, like you know what I like about 50 Cent though? I'll say this. At least he keeps the same energy. Because people die who are like, okay, not saying that this is not specific about Irv Gotti, but people die and they become like, well, this just kind of happened. They become like these figures that are praised and treated as though they were a good person while they were alive, and they were a piece of shit while they were alive. Yeah,
Kendrick Lamar. That's the I don't remember if it was in Euphoria or it was it was in one of the diss songs, but he has like a bar about that, like about talking about like you and your boys doing this and that, and like when they die, I forget exactly what the bar was.
Because we're not as clever as Kendrick Lamar, obviously, but I get the ideas there.
Yeah.
And so, it's interesting to think about that. Like, when someone dies, all of a sudden, all of their transgressions, all of their fuckery while they were alive, a lot of people sweep it under the rug and pretend like it just didn't happen. And if you try to bring it up, like, yo, this person was actually a piece of shit though while they were alive. Like, this person was a terrible person. He made other people feel bad while he was alive. He actively, that's what he did while he was alive. He spent his entire every living day making other people's lives worse. That's what he did. And now he's fucking dead. Example. Go ahead.
Hulk Hogan. So, I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Same.
I love wrestling.
I grew up watching wrestling.
Same. 100% huge wrestling fan. Hulk Hogan is a piece of shit in more than one reason, right? Let's go to the obvious one. He's a piece of shit person. He's racist.
Yeah. That's so unfortunate that he's, I'm just so sad. I just have to say, I'm sorry to interject. Like, I grew up liking Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker, The Rock, The Big Show, Kane, the Hardy, like everybody, Mankind, you name it, right? Dude Love, like I'm a huge wrestling fan. Sting, Goldberg, Rikishi, like literally Diamond Dallas Page, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, like
I'm loving it all.
I can go for hours about wrestling, and we never really talk about wrestling like that on this podcast, but wrestling was a huge part of my upbringing. So I liked Hulk Hogan as a byproduct of me just liking wrestling. I especially liked when he would just rip his fucking shirt off. Like he would his muscle, because he was definitely roided out. He would fucking just get to the middle of the stage and just rip his whole tank off. And something about that, I was like, yo, that seems so hard to do with your bare hands, just like rip a tank across your chest. Like, but he would do it. I thought it was so cool. And then later in life, I get older, come to find out his daughter is dating a black guy, and he hates that, so he just starts using the N-word, and it just is like, oh, that's so unfortunate.
So he's racist. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit for multiple reasons, right? But here's the other thing. As a wrestling fan, and as someone who like got super deep into like everything behind the scenes and everything like that, he was also a piece of shit. Like, as a wrestling fan, he was a piece of shit to other wrestlers. Like, behind the scenes, there's hundreds of stories. Basically, no other wrestlers like Hulk Hogan either.
I didn't know this.
He was a complete piece of shit to almost all of the other wrestlers behind the scenes.
So his coworkers.
He treated them like shit. His coworkers, There was, how wrestling goes is, you have your run, and then eventually you lose to somebody to put them over, pass the torch, etc.
Yep.
And there was multiple times where he was supposed to lose in order to kind of pass the torch, and he just said no. He just said, no, I'm not doing that. And he just, when it was somebody else's time to like be the top guy for a little bit to make a little bit more money, he just didn't do it. He just was like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing them the favor. I'm not doing it for them. And he was a real just baby.
So just like strong arming the whole wrestling federation, because if you just choose to not play, what are we going to do, right? It's like he's saying he's not going to do his role, because obviously wrestling is scripted. Like, I'm sorry if you're like listening to this and you don't know it or you don't believe it, but like wrestling is just a soap opera. It's a soap opera. It's literally a scripted program. It's very entertaining though, and I don't. For people who enjoy it, I don't shit on them. I want people to enjoy it. I'm a big advocate of this. We say it all of me and Kenny say it all the time. Enjoy whatever you enjoy. I collect fucking little figures. I got Labubus. I got fucking anime figurines. I got katanas. I'm a gamer. I collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I play Yu-Gi-Oh at 30 years old. Like, whatever makes you happy, I want you to do it. And so if wrestling makes you happy, even at your big age, I do not care. I do not shit on people because...
and that's the thing. Even though it's fake, it's real. I always like say, because it's funny, because what you're saying is so funny. Because when I mention, I like, not that I watch it anymore.
Yeah, same.
But if somebody says, do you like wrestling? I'll still say yes. Because I grew up loving wrestling. I still like love it. And even at 30 years old, people go, it's fake, right? And I go, oh, shit. Oh, what? Because yes, it's fake as in it's scripted. But it's not fake? Jumping off of a ladder. Like, there's no way to fake that.
Yeah, there's no...
He really jumped off a ladder, and there was a guy laying on a table, and he went through the table on the guy. Like, a guy came from a ladder, landed on another guy, and went through a table. That really happened.
Yeah.
There was no magic there.
Yeah.
That happened. So the winner of the fight... Yeah, before AI. The winner of the fight is fake. The winner of the fight was scripted. But everything they did in there, like, they really bled. Like, they were really bleeding. It wasn't chicken blood.
I will never forget when Triple H went against Mankind, or Cactus Jack, rather, whoever, Hell in a Cell, they had one of those type situations. I'll never forget that. and there was like a pedigree done on top of tacks or fucking thumbtacks. Like there was all types of, and the blood, like there was just so much blood. At least that's how I remember in my head.
Mankind got in trouble for that.
Oh, really?
Vince McMahon told him, because before going into that fight, I don't remember the winner of the fight, but going to the fight,
Triple H.
Vince McMahon
told like
Triple
H won.
Both of them no thumbtack. Like no, he would, because Mankind or Cactus Jack or Mick Foley,
whatever version, whatever version he was.
Like, I don't know if people know this. He's missing an ear. He did everything to sell the product. He took real pain and real punishment. So he liked bleeding. He liked doing all that because he sold the product to the umpteenth degree. And so Vince McMahon told him, I think also at this point in time, ratings were started, like, not the ratings, whatever censorship companies,
right.
But they were like getting on them for the amount of blood and the amount of violence that is in their show. And so if Mankind bled or whatever, it would cause a huge fine for the WWF. So anyway, they were explicitly told no thumbtacks. And anyway, he brought out the fucking thumbtacks and had Triple H do a pedigree. Which you don't know what a pedigree is. It's when you put someone's head in between your knees, and then jump and drill their head into the ground, and on top of thumbtacks in this case. And there was thumbtacks stuck in his head, like he was bleeding, and there's like thumbtacks literally stuck in his fucking head. He took a beating.
I really enjoyed. So that was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, and this is kind of one of the reasons why I think he lost, because I was rooting for him. I really wanted him to beat Triple H. Cactus Jack, Dude Love, Mick Foley, like all of his personas, I really liked him, and I guess maybe I felt his passion. Like I didn't know the stuff that you're saying right now. I didn't know as a kid, right? Like first of all, I thought wrestling was real, so let's just start there. I didn't know as a kid, one, that what I was watching was a scripted program. Two, I didn't know anything about anyone's, like, how hard they were going to sell me this product, right? This show. I just know I liked it. I loved it. As a little boy, I loved it. And maybe a part of me felt how much he cared, and I just rooted for him naturally. So I really wanted him to win, and I think he ended up losing.
He cared a lot, and it makes sense that because at the end of the day, especially back then, nobody was supposed to know, right? That's the whole point.
Yep.
That's what he was selling. But like, for example, I mentioned some people might be interested. What do you mean he's missing an ear? In one of the matches, I don't remember which one, but in a match, he wanted to get tangled up in the ropes in a certain way. So I think somebody goes to clothesline him, and he like clotheslines over the ropes and like gets flipped into the ropes. And the idea was that he would get tangled in between the top rope and the middle rope.
Yeah.
And then they'd be wrapped around his neck, and he'd be like choking.
Oh.
So he got like knocked into these ropes. The ropes wrap around his neck, and he's supposed to choke. What ends up happening is it happens so hard and like he really gets stuck. Like he's actually suffocating. The ropes are wrapped around his neck so tight. He's actually fucking stuck, and they can't get him out. What ends up happening is they eventually are able to like flip it out, but the ropes are so tight around his neck that it literally, as they undo the ropes to get it off of his head, the rope rips his ear off. His actual ear is ripped off. He's missing an ear.
Because of
that
this
motherfucker.
stunt.
Yeah, he put everything into it to believe it. Because if people are saying it's fake, especially back then, they were really selling the fact that it's real. And if there's like videos of interviewers saying, "Hey, I think wrestling's fake," like, is it fake? And then the wrestler would like get an assault charge. Like they would beat the fucking like
I want you to know.
Like smacking the shit out of the interviewer. Like, did that feel fake? Did that feel fake? And like just start beating. Like they were getting assault charges for this shit.
I remember some of that because sometimes the Big Show or somebody, Kane or whatever, especially the Undertaker, they would get interviewed by some frail little dude. He'd come up with a microphone and he'd be like asking him questions. And at the time, Kane didn't used to speak. Like Kane would just not say anything. And then eventually Kane would just get so mad after a couple of interview questions that he would end up doing like the tombstone on the fucking person. He would just tombstone them. And then the second cameraman, because there had to be a second one now that I think about it. The second camera guy is fucking filming the tombstone and the now dead interviewer that's on the ground. The next time you see this interviewer in the next episode, he will have a fucking neck brace on. And he'll still be interviewing people. That shit was crack, bro. You cannot tell me that OG wrestling wasn't insane.
They were selling the product. And then especially if somebody's saying it's fake and then you go, well, he's really missing an ear. Like he had an ear last week. Like last week he had an ear. Like he doesn't have an ear this week. Like like that sells the product. Like, that guy's missing an ear.
hold on, someone fucking died. Okay, Bret Hart, Owen
Bret
Hart, yeah.
Owen Hart died. Yeah.
Owen Hart died. Like literally, me and you were probably both wrestling fans at the time that this happened, but like he fell to his death tragically, during a regular program, like a regular show of wrestling, and that's absurd. Like, it's just absurd. There are definitely, obviously, yes, it could be scripted, but there are parts of it that are certainly real. I mean, more of it is real than not when you think about it. Like, they are hitting each other. Sure, they know how to brace for attacks. They know how to play it up, right? They know how to make a pin look a certain way. They know how to make certain moves, like, soften them up before they actually become... Because, like, you can do a move with the full force of what it looks like and actually hurt someone, or you can loosen up at the very last second to where it actually doesn't really damage the person. I used to practice this with my cousins. I grew up in a house with like 2 other boy cousins. And so we would wrestle all the time because it's just like, you watch wrestling, then you want to wrestle. But I learned how to not make them cry and tell my dad, or, they would tell my dad when I would fuck them up too bad. So you learn how to soften up some of the attacks. And
but regardless, like you said, everything you're saying, it's a very dangerous sport or sport entertainment, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember the exact stat. Somebody can Google it. I don't feel like Googling it right now. But there are not many old wrestlers, like retired wrestlers. Like it has a very high fatality rate for the amount of damage it does to your body. I'm not saying like people dying in the ring.
Right.
The amount of damage that it does to your body. It has a very high fatality rate, like for like once people are like over 50. Like I don't think there's a lot of retired wrestlers over 50. I think there's a very high percentage of them that have died by the age of 50 or 60. Like they don't live to be 80 years old. Like that doesn't really happen. Yeah,
because the ones that we watched when we were growing up should be approaching those really later years now. They were grown. They were in their 30s when we were young, right? Like, but when me and you were like 8 years old, they were already in their like Mick Foley was old my whole life. Like he was old when I was watching.
It's always so funny to say like something was this my whole life. Like there's something about that is always so good to me.
It's like he was old my whole life. So to me, it's like he has to be like pushing 70 now. Like I would just assume that he has to be pushing like close to 70.
Yeah, I think I want to say he's in his 50s.
No
like,
way.
Probably late 50s. I don't think he's close to 7.
Okay,
I could be wrong.
You're probably right.
I don't think he's close to 7.
You're probably right. But I always go so hard. Oh, he's 60. He's 60 on the dot.
Okay. Yeah.
He's born in 1865. So again, old my whole life. Because when I'm 8,
old my whole life.
If you're 30 when I'm 8, you're old as shit.
You're old.
An 8-year-old walk up to me right now and be like,
"You're Unc."
Yeah, Mister. Like, and I am not Mister, but an 8-year-old will call me Mister, and I'm like, bro, I'm the same. I'm a YN too. Okay, you do not need to call me.
No.
You do not need to call me. You do not need to call me Mister. Don't fucking ask me to buy a pack of cigs.
You ain't no city boy.
You can't ask me to buy a pack of cigs. God damn it! Like I'm not. I'm getting carded too. Okay, I'm getting carded too. I want you to understand this.
Oh man, I don't get carded.
No, I don't actually. I mean, I haven't tried to buy fucking cigarettes, but I'm assuming I would not get carded at this point. Like, it's come on, unless I would have to be dressed like so young, which I can do. Like, I can put on an oversized hoodie, oversized pants.
You don't got grays. I got grays. Motherfuckers look at me, they're like, oh, this
no. I do have grays. The reality is they are so sparse right now that it is hard to see them. If you were close to me, you would be able to see like my beard. There's
like right now I'm looking at you in this webcam and like
it's just black hair.
You're clean right now.
It just looks like, but like specifically on the sides, there are grays sprouting out more and more. I'm noticing because I'm looking at myself every day, but there are grays sprouting around my head, and I'm like, holy shit! Like it's really happening. Like I'm actually aging. But they don't show up on camera because it's just not close enough.
Reminded me of.
What's up?
Did you see the clip? Now, I don't really watch streamers like that. I don't watch Kai Cenat, but everybody knows that.
I don't watch him either, but
streamer
I see clips too, though.
But I'll see clips every now and then. And there was a clip. I don't know what happened. Kai Cenat had like Kevin Hart and Drewski.
Oh, I love that. Love that
on his stream, right? And then so Kevin Hart is snapping on Drewski, and he's like, "What the fuck is that like blonde shit on the top of your head?" Right? And he's like talking shit on Drewski's hair. He's like, "What the fuck is that blonde shit on top of your head? Like, why can't you just come out here with your natural hair color? like your real hair color or whatever, right? And so Drusy for a minute is like taken aback by the attack, but then immediately he goes, well, now Kevin, he goes, now, and he can't even get it out. He's crying. He falls over, and eventually he's like, Kevin, that's not your natural hair color. Like that black ass hair,
come on.
is not your natural hair color.
Like, let's be for real.
Like, don't you fucking play with me, you old ass motherfucker.
Yeah, because
like that is not your natural hair color right now.
So Kevin Hart, there are moments where he doesn't get his hair dyed and it's very gray. Like he has a lot of gray hair when it's not dyed. But then normally when we see Kevin Hart, he's, dolled up, right? Like he has the fresh cut with like the super deep black hair. But like that shit was just dyed that morning, like just for men or whatever people use. I actually was thinking about it because eventually I'm like, I don't know if I'm just going to accept the grays or if I'm going to like literally start dyeing my hair. I've never dyed my hair myself before. I've never done it. But because I already cut my own hair, I do all of my own hair stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So like I do all my shape ups. I do all of like my maintenance and everything like that. I was thinking about at some point I might need to start getting into like dyeing it because the grays will start to become dominant probably years from now, maybe over a decade from now. But at some point they will become dominant, and I like black hair. I don't really want the fucking...
Yeah. You just gotta accept that shit, baby.
I don't think I'm going to.
Ride with me, baby. Ride with me.
I think it looks better on... I can't even say that because I look at Idris Elba, who has... he's aged over time, not like everyone else.
If I was gay...
Idris. Anyway. Yeah, he's very beautiful.
I'm in there, baby.
I think he was literally voted as the world's most beautiful man in one of the years. Like, you know how to do that
He's undeniably handsome.
Yeah, it was like Ashton Kutcher one year, and then I think Idris Elba was the next year.
That's crazy. I don't think Ashton Kutcher is ugly.
Same,
but I think it's crazy to vote him the most attractive man.
I agree. This was during the peak of that 70s show.
Look. Like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
But yeah, I see that he's aged and now he has grays and he looks fine with the black and gray mixture. Like he actually looks fine with it. So if my shit mixes nicely, I probably won't mind. But there is the fact that you just look younger when your hair is all your natural color that you had. Yeah. So I don't know.
You want to keep lying to people saying you a YN. That's crazy.
I know, right? That is wild. Like I'm telling a fucking 8-year-old like, yo, I can't buy you cigarettes because I'm also a YN. It's just insane.
That's insane.
But it is what it is. But yeah, I grew up loving wrestling. Hulk Hogan, very unfortunate situation with that guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The whole point was
20 minutes ago. 20 fucking
anyway,
minutes
Hulk
ago.
Hogan's a piece of shit. Sometimes people die, and we don't have to pretend that they were a good person when they were alive.
Yeah,
we can just say, hey, it's a shame that person died. It sucks for their kids. Obviously there's people that love them. And it's a tragedy for those people, but we don't have to pretend they were nice people.
I want to ask you a question. This is something I don't know if we've ever talked about this before, which is crazy because this podcast is now 4 years old. I was a huge fan of Kanye West for a very, very big portion of my life, and in the last couple of years, he has been a very disappointing person, a very disappointing human, and just some of the things that he said and some of the things that he's done. I really, really, really don't agree with. And this is different from when people say things like, oh, you're gay. I don't really agree with that lifestyle. I don't really agree with like the gay thing or like the trans thing or bisexual. It's like, well, not agreeing with somebody's like being, like who they are as a person is fucking crazy. Cause like, what do you mean you don't agree with it? Like this is crazy. This is just who the person is, right? Like the same way I'm just black. Like I'm born this way and I literally cannot change it. Like I came out of my mother with this fucking skin. I literally cannot do anything about it, right? So you being like, I don't agree with it is crazy. But people's actions though, right? Like someone's actions, you could be like, I do not agree with your actions. And Kanye, and like I said, in the last couple of years, he's been just saying some really wild shit. Don't even need to repeat it. You guys know he's been anti-Semitic. He's been all over the place. He's been anti everything, honestly. He's not even just one thing. Like
he's anti a lot of things.
He's just been a full-on like fascist, like everything that you could possibly think of. He's basically been our president. And so I really, really, really have distanced myself from engaging in like when he puts out new albums, I do not listen. I haven't listened to Vultures 2, Vultures 1. Like I just can't. Like I'm good when he puts out shit, when he goes on his rants, his antics, I just completely, I tell my algorithm, I click on the not interested button. I click the 3 dots. This is what I've been learning to do that it teaches your algorithm what to not show you. Click on the 3 dots, click not interested, or click hide. Click whatever that makes it go away. It collapses that post and then it'll say after that, not interested question mark, or want to see less of this, and then I click that next. And then it'll give a thumbs up and say like, we'll show you less of this, or we will remove this from your. And so I've done that to Kanye West. So I don't get any of his news anymore, unless obviously if he fucking does something crazy, it's going to come up because other pages that I follow will post it, which is annoying.
It'll just be everywhere, like when he has a naked wife.
Right, literally that. Right, when he's getting head in a fucking boat somewhere in Italy or France or wherever he was. So the question I want to propose here, and this is a common question, is: do you believe in separating the art from the artist? For example, we were talking about Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is a deplorable was a deplorable person while he was alive, because for all these different reasons, racist, blah, 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 like a whole bunch of things that are just like, you're a trash person. You don't want your daughter to date someone just because of the color of their skin. Is fucking wild. Like literally mentally ill,
crazy.
Wild. The color of the skin of a person is the reason why you do not want your daughter to be with them. Is just I cannot even understand
limiting. It's so limiting because, well, actually, I guess I was going to say I don't understand. Like, there's so many beautiful people of different ethnicities, like that are just like, and there's just differences. Like, for example, Asian people and how like the Asian eye structure, like those sharper eyes, the sharper like to me that shit is extremely attractive. Like I really like, that the Asian eye structure, right? And then at the same time though, I'll see, let's just say, a black girl with like wide eyes, and like the way it looks for her face structure is really pretty. Like the point is, there's so many different kinds of people with and like there's so much like, damn, that's really attractive, and all of these different things that when you're racist, it's crazy that you shut yourself out from all of this variety. And they say variety is the spice of life. But then at the same time, what you realize is that all these racist people, their states, if you look at Pornhub, happen to be the states that look at like big black cock the most. So
that is also really a fact, is that the red states and the ones that claim to be super anti-trans, anti-gay, anti-black, the search results show that they prefer they prefer big black cock trans. Like that is what they go for. That is what they literally are. Pornhub puts out the fucking map. Okay? Pornhub posts, I don't know if people know this. I know this. Pornhub every year posts an actual map of the country and of the world, but of the country. And it shows you what the most common search type of porn is in every region. This is a fucking thing that they actually do. And they also tell you what the most popular type of porn is across the board. Like at one point it was Latino, and then another point it was Asian, and it changes obviously over time. People change. But they publish this. This is a published thing that Pornhub does every year, and I find it fascinating that you're right. Like it's come out that a lot of the super restrictive red states search the most obscure, for what their beliefs are supposedly, the most obscure porn categories. It's like, what is that about? But that's not even the point. Not to get too sidetracked, but someone like Hulk Hogan, I grew up being a big fan of him, and I like what he's done for the world of wrestling, right? And also Kanye West, I grew up being a big fan of him. I like what he did for the world of hip hop. He's a producer. He was Jay-Z's producer for a very long time. Some of Jay-Z's best work, Kanye West is the producer who made that shit happen, or at least one of the most integral parts of it, anyway. And then he, 20 years pass, and now he's just like this racist bigot weirdo who just lashes out on people, says the most vile things. He started talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce's children. He called them the R word this year. I think that happened this year. It might have happened at the end of last year. But like, that is deplorable to me. Like, once you start talking about people's children, that's just deplorable behavior to me. Sorry for the ambulance right now. Just, Philadelphia.
Yeah, they're coming for you.
Or police car, whatever. I guess that's a police car, whatever. But yeah, I find it deplorable when someone can just, for no reason at all, just go on the internet and be like, this person's kids are this. And then it's like, okay, like what, why are we doing this? Like, I don't. So my question is separating the art from the artist. A lot of people are like, oh, I listen to R. Kelly. R. Kelly is known to be a child rapist. That is just a fact. Like, R. Kelly is known. He is a known, convicted, pile of evidence child rapist. That is a thing that we know about R. Kelly, right? But some people are like, well, I still love R. Kelly's music. And, R. Kelly's one of the greatest R&B artists. Some people consider him to be the best R&B artist of all time. Whatever. His pen is insane. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit that they praise R. Kelly. And I'm always a little taken aback by it. I try to understand their position of separating the art from the artist, because he did make amazing art. I get it. But like, when I hear songs like Seems Like You're Ready or Age Ain't Nothing But a Number and all, my mind is telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. I can't help but to think about like, oh God, it was right there. Like, he's singing about.
You're making some good points. So I think, like with anything, I've been getting in arguments with some of my friends lately because some of my friends accuse me of being a fence sitter because I tend to take a nuanced look at things and like a gray look at things. And very rarely do I believe things are black and white, one way or another, right or wrong.
Yeah.
And I'll have my opinion about something that might lean one way, but I tend to like explore the topic from multiple angles. I find that to be interesting. I find that to be, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. With this, I think it's a similar thing. And it's nuanced in how it goes. So let's take R. Kelly, for example. First of all, I never really thought he was that great. He has some good songs. Like, he has some songs that are undeniably good, but overall, his entire catalog, I never thought his catalog was that strong, in my opinion. I think it's insane to say he's like the number one R&B singer. I think there's certainly, I think, just to throw out, I don't know if he's my favorite, but he's in R&B singers, he's certainly in my top 5, maybe top 3. But like, I think The Weeknd is by far and away better than R. Kelly in like every category. So,
and even personal taste aside, right? Like, everyone has an opinion on like, music is all subjective. But I get your point. You're like, well, the whole claim of like him being so good that we can't throw him away is
a little crazy. But okay, let's put that aside, because like you said, personal taste doesn't matter. I think that separating art from artists is a very dependent thing. Let's look at, before I go to R. Kelly, let's look at the original thing, Kanye West. For Kanye West, he has 5 albums in a row. I think he has one of the most impressive one of the most impressive album runs in history.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion, I don't know how many albums in a row are as good as College Dropout to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like, College Dropout to Late Registration to Graduation to 808s to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That 5-album run is like one of the most incredible runs of all time.
Really absurd.
You see in comment sections people of like nowadays, like Kanye going on some racist Hitler rant, and then one of the top comments will be, "But he made Graduation."
Yeah,
like
that is every time, and it has a lot of likes too. That comment, that'll be the top comment. It'll have 7,935 likes.
It's crazy, right? So I think it kind of goes like this. For me, I don't look for his new music at all. I have not heard Vultures and Vultures 2 or whatever. I don't look for his new music at all. I have no interest in supporting his new music, supporting anything he does. I can't separate the fact that I love those 5 albums.
Yeah.
So I still find myself listening to those songs sometimes. And I do feel bad a little bit even when I listen to them, because it's like who he is now. But I can't separate the fact that I think those are still 5 pieces of art that are undeniable. They're just incredibly good. So I still enjoy those. But I think what ends up happening is you can separate the art from the artist in that you can look at a piece of work like those albums and still appreciate how good they are, but you don't have to go and still celebrate Kanye West. You can be like, you can just, like, I listen to those albums on my own. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to go out and like celebrate Kanye West in public and force him on people, like how some people do R. Kelly. Like, some people talk about, oh, R. Kelly this, R. Kelly. Like, I'm not going, like, I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but
no, I get what you're saying.
I can appreciate those albums on my own, but I don't have to, like,
maybe that's the solution. Like, if you like an artist and they've done deplorable things like R. Kelly, Kanye West, or any of the other ones who are out there, there's plenty of them. Elvis Presley. If you like their music, right? Elvis married a 14-year-old. If you like their music, like, just because I don't want to make sense, I just want to make sure that we're, but like,
just want to make sure we're all caught the fuck up. You know what I mean?
But like, if you like the music of these people, I think that it's okay to enjoy the music individually without then trying to get other people to partake in it when like this person did some fuck shit, because that is where it becomes a little bit more problematic to me. Yeah.
I find the comment funny, but he made Graduation. But like, in real life, I will never defend what he's doing because he made great albums.
Right.
because that's what some people do is they'll
That's a good
defend the
point.
deplorable things that he's doing, and they'll be like, yeah, but he's such an icon because of this, and he did this, and like we can forgive him for that because he did this. And some people are like, oh, he can do all these bad things as long as his next album is good. My thing is like, look, I'm not even going to give you the time of day for your next album. I'll appreciate the music I got from you. It's great music, but like, I'm not going to ever use that music to defend your actions, and I'm not going to look for your new music either.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at too, without having said it out loud or like put it in a structure form like what you just said. But I guess that's what I've been unintentionally just doing, because I refuse to listen to his new stuff. I don't talk to people about Kanye West and try to defend him ever, because I'm just not a lunatic. Like, I would never try to defend the shit that he said. Like, that's just not me. So I would never try to defend him. I would never try to even promote like, oh, like, did you hear this or did you listen to this? Like, even now, if somebody's like, I never listened to him, where should I start? I would just be like, I don't even want to get involved.
Yeah,
like,
it's not worth the heartbreak.
Like, I'm not.
It's not worth the heartbreak to get into Kanye West right now, because you're going to love his albums.
You are.
And then
because it's great music. Like, that part is undeniable, but it's also deniable that he's a fucking asshole now. And it's just like, I can't, I always wonder about the separating the art from the artist thing, like how other people feel about it, because this is not an easy conversation to have. It's not an easy like yes or no type of thing. I feel like it's very nuanced, like you said. It's not black and white.
To add to the nuance, right? So Kanye West, that example is what it is. R. Kelly is a different example though, because now you go back to the golden age of R. Kelly's music, and his records that are the undeniable like records that are like his version of Graduation, his version of 808s and Heartbreak. Yeah. When you go to R. Kelly's version of that, those songs are about fucking kids.
Yeah, they are.
So the difference is, I think, once again, examples are different. With Kanye West, for me, the answer is I can appreciate the first 5 albums. I can listen to those albums, and I can separate that from who he is now, and I can just listen to those on my own and not use those to defend certain actions, but I can still appreciate this music for what it is. With R. Kelly, you can't do that, in my opinion. You can't separate the art from the artist, because the artist put fucking kids into his art.
Right.
Like, Age Is Nothing But a Number is about, it's him fucking kids.
Yeah.
Him doing what he did to Aaliyah. He fucking, he raped Aaliyah, and he created Aaliyah's whole first album.
Yeah, he did.
And her first album is called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.
Yep.
And R. Kelly is in the background of the album art. He's there in the album art.
Yeah,
and he used to,
gross.
They would go on interviews together, and he would force her to wear matching clothes to him. She would be wearing the exact same outfit R. Kelly is wearing on TV. And then also Aaliyah's age was being obscured.
Yep.
Like, at the time, the internet wasn't really around, so people didn't really know that she was 15. So like how old she was being obscured, and it was being done on purpose. So in my opinion, you can't separate the art from the artist in R. Kelly's case, because his art was about him fucking kids.
Yeah, his art literally has what he did ingrained in it, whereas some of the other artists, they don't literally have whatever their deplorable actions are. They don't have them ingrained. Like you said, Kanye's first 5 albums, they're not Nazi albums. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, they're not fucking Nazi albums. They don't have that in them. Whereas R. Kelly's does actually have his pedophilia. It's all throughout his music catalog, which is scary, because this is the same guy that a lot of older folks would be like, well, he may step in the name of love. And I understand that at cookouts and at family reunions, everyone likes to get up and dance to step in the name of love. But like, I don't have any R. Kelly music on my iPhone, my Apple Music. I don't have it on anything. I do have Kanye music on there from, again, for me, it's the first 6 albums. I go up to The Life of Pablo is where I kind of stop before after Life of Pablo is when he starts doing like the Jesus stuff.
Wait, isn't Life of Pablo album 7?
So what's after My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy?
I think Yeezus. Isn't Yeezus before Life of Pablo?
Yeezus is 2013, right? So I think you're right. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is 2010. So I go up to The Life of Pablo, so album 7, because you're right. It's Graduation, then 808s, then Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, then Yeezus 2013, and then The Life of Pablo 2016. So I get off at 2016. Yeah. 2016 is also like the greatest year of music. Just FYI, people don't know. Every great album that ever was made came out in 2016, just randomly. People will often talk about this nowadays, like we'll never have another year like 2016. But
I'll have to go back and look at it.
Yeah, 2016
Life of Pablo is really good. I didn't like it when it first came out, but it
aged well. It really does age well. Waves about him and Chris Brown, him and Rihanna. When Designer was relevant, that Panda. I got broads in the like that was huge back then. Ultralight Beam. Very, very good album. I can go through the whole thing because I really like that album a lot. But his first 7 albums, after that I stopped. But this is also before he became a Nazi. Like he was crazy still at this time. Don't get me wrong. Like
he was crazy Kanye, but it was just like egomaniac crazy Kanye.
Yes.
Like it wasn't like
I hate this group of people. Like it wasn't literally I hate this entire group of people. Like this entire group of people I do not like because they're not letting me do what I want. I want to do this, and the CEO of Adidas happens to be this type of person, and I hate all of them. Like that is what he became, and it's like, okay, well, that like we can't.
That's a little crazy.
We can't just. I understand that you don't like the CEO of Adidas, but generalizing him to his whole race and being like his whole race is just like this is crazy. Like I'm not saying that he's not a piece of shit. I don't know. He might be. But then to say that his entire race is a piece of shit because he's a piece of shit, like we have to have our faculties about us. So
that's the stuff that's really bad all over, like people doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
side note, this is, I don't need to say this, but I just wanted to say it because it's somebody else. I also put Usher way above R. Kelly. I just want to say I think Usher is an incredible R&B artist.
Agree. I mean, I
put Usher way above R. Kelly.
Also, for what it's worth, Usher is our generation, like me and you. And R. Kelly, I would say, is like slightly above. Like R. Kelly's really like our parents' generation. Yeah. Like your mom, my dad. We might have been born because of R. Kelly's music. Like is how like because like it goes back to their time. Like I wasn't. I personally, I'm joking because obviously R. Kelly in 89 or 90 or 91 or whatever, like he wasn't. Yeah. But to my point is like he's older. He's like my dad's age. He's older than us. Yeah, he's like my dad's age. To be fair though,
like. Some people would argue R. Kelly did do this. He just didn't do it for me. He didn't resonate that way for me. But, there's people like, Prince or Michael Jackson who, are obviously before my time, but like their music still resonates with me and like
transcends.
Was able to transcend that. Yeah. And Michael Jackson's another good example, right, of art from artists. I mean, it's not proven.
Right.
Like, the allegations aren't proven, whereas in R. Kelly's case it is. There's also been a lot of stuff in Michael Jackson's case. Since his death, there's been a lot of evidence to the contrary. Like, there's still evidence that maybe he did do it. There's also been a lot of evidence to the contrary of, like, a lot of just kind of lies and things that aren't as cut and dry as people were making you believe at the time when he was being accused of. I don't really know. I'm not going to pretend I know, but he's another, I guess, example of art and artist.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson thing is definitely an interesting one because when I was younger, I remember hearing that, oh, Michael Jackson did something with children. Then and this is where it gets weird. Then supposedly those same people who accused him grew up and were like, we lied.
Yeah.
But then
that happened factually.
But then years later, they then said, no, we didn't lie. It was true.
Yeah.
So like, I stopped paying attention once it became they flip-flop back and forth. And I'm like, I don't know what to believe anymore. To be clear, I want to believe that he wasn't this person. That's what I want to believe. That's the stance that I want to have. I'm going to be very honest about that. Like, I do not want to believe. I don't want to believe that this person was molesting children. I also don't want children to be molested. So I don't want to live in a world where I have to even think that is what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because the alternative is like, oh, it happened. Like, I'm not like gung ho. Like, yes, these children got fucking molested. Like, I don't want that to be the truth. Like, for very obvious reasons. But then the flip flopping thing, they were doing it for money. The parents put them up to it, is what the story came out to be. And
there's a lot of flip flopping with the Michael Jackson story, whereas you don't really get that flip flopping in the Bill Cosby story.
No,
like all the women that accused Bill Cosby of raping them, or we've probably already said it, but I just realized, anyway, podcast. All the women that accused Bill Cosby of assaulting them, like there was never a point in time where they flip flopped that story. It was he assaulted us. Like, and
there's also
once again,
the thing was too many.
There were so many, and the thing with Bill Cosby is that it was actually a known thing for decades. Apparently, like it wasn't as public as it became.
Have you ever seen his stand up? The Spanish Fly stand up specifically.
Yeah.
He starts talking about putting this drug called Spanish Fly into women's drinks, or like basically it's something that makes you loose. It's a drug that makes you loose called Spanish Fly. Now, I never heard of this until I saw the stand up. This is some old drug.
This is old. This is actually before our time.
Yeah, Spanish Fly is. I assume that the drug still exists under a different name, like how drugs at one point ecstasy changed its name. People start calling it Molly. Molly all in her cup. She didn't even know it. Like there's a bunch of drugs.
Which is a crazy line.
Rick Ross. Shout out to Rick Ross for, being a creep. Drugs, in order to keep drugs cool and relevant, they literally change names throughout time. Same drug, but they will literally take on a completely different name to sound hip and cool to a newer generation. And so Spanish Fly, I don't know what became of it, but I'm assuming that it's still around. It's just called something else. Anyway, Bill Cosby admitted in a stand-up special, he was joking about it, but art imitates life. He was talking about how he would put this shit into women's drinks or whatever, or give them this pill, and it would sedate them. And he said, basically, like, you can do what you want to them. It's kind of very creepy stuff, and people were laughing at the time, but it's not funny when you.
Did you ever see the episode of The Cosby Show where he's talking about his barbecue sauce? There's an episode of The Cosby Show where he's talking about how he makes this special barbecue sauce, and he's talking about, and like his wife is like saying, he's like, you know how you get when you have my barbecue sauce.
That's crazy.
He's like my barbecue sauce. You go upstairs. You eat my barbecue sauce. You feel like this and that. And he's talking about how, like, when he makes his barbecue sauce, like, it makes people, horny or whatever. And then he's doing all of this. And then, like, kind of like the final part of the joke is basically that, like, his daughter is there with her boyfriend, and they go to eat the chicken and, like, put the barbecue sauce on it. And he jumps up from the table and he goes, no. And he takes the barbecue sauce away and doesn't let his daughter and her boyfriend eat the barbecue sauce that he's talking about.
Interesting. I'm sharing my screen right now. I typed in on YouTube Cosby barbecue sauce. I could play this clip real quick if you want to watch it together.
Sure. Let me see here. What would be the right way to go about doing? We can just watch it. I don't think. Let me see.
You should, because I'm sharing my screen, so the audio should come through for you.
Yeah, the audio come through. I'm trying to figure out if I want to bother setting it up so that people see it.
Oh no, I don't. I think that just the audio.
So just play it.
Yeah, all right. Let me see.
Yeah, audio will work.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me change my audio output device to headphones. All right, here we go.
Love your neck, honey.
Well, it certainly is nice to see them work things out for themselves.
They haven't worked anything out for themselves. It's my barbecue sauce.
Your barbecue.
My barbecue sauce. Haven't you ever noticed after people have some of my barbecue sauce, after a while when it kicks in, they get all huggy-buggy?
Oh, stop.
I'm dead serious. Haven't you ever noticed that after one of my barbecues and they have the sauce, people want to get right home? Let me tell you something else. I got a cup of it up on the night table and I'll be I got a cup of it, I said. Left it up there breathing. Why don't you give the chicken to these people that's going up and have some sauce?
So here's the rest of the chicken, you guys.
Dr. Uxlow, I love this chicken. Oh, Rudy, you look real nice, man.
So he takes it away. So at the end there, so the older people, the older kids, I think, are like all lovey-dovey throughout the clip. And at the end, his youngest daughter is with, I think, her friend. I don't remember the exact show, but the youngest kids are there and they go to eat the barbecue sauce at the end. And he like runs back over and like wipes his mouth off and like takes it away from them.
Yeah, they're literally like 10 years old. But that, I never saw that clip before, and I didn't really watch too much of The Cosby Show. I have seen episodes of it when I was a kid, because just living in a house with older black people, but never saw that before. But I saw the Spanish Fly thing. That is also a really creepy one, because it's like, there's basically a history of him having these jokes about drugging people, or like putting things inside of things that you don't know what's in it. Like in this episode, whatever this was, this clip that we just played, the people who are eating this chicken with this barbecue sauce don't know that they're consuming some chemical that he fucking injected in it.
Yeah, they don't know that they're being drugged.
Yeah, they have no idea.
Neither does his wife, for that matter. His wife is like, what are you talking about? He's like, you've never noticed that when you eat my barbecue sauce, you get all huggy-buggy?
Crazy.
Like, what the hell?
And so this is another example where the art is literally, it has an infusion of what the person did. Like,
yeah,
he's accused of drugging women and doing all these terrible things to people, and then he has all his art is alluding to, yes, I do this type of thing. So it's like, you, in this case, in certain cases, you can't even separate it. It's blatant.
Yeah, so once again, like, let's just say, once again, Michael Jackson, I'm undetermined on whether or not he is or is not guilty. He was never found guilty, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And also, information has come out to really make me wonder if it was bullshit or not. But let's just, for a thought experiment's sake, pretend that he did do it 100%. to me, I would still be able to enjoy fucking Michael Jackson when he's 10 years old in the Jackson 5 singing fucking ABC.
Yeah.
That song is still a banger. It's still a great song, amazing song that just like dance to and whatever. And so like I wouldn't hold that against. I mean, most of Michael Jackson's music is just fucking incredible. And it'd be hard for me to hold that against them because that music, at least to me, doesn't read as I'm molesting kids.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm going through his catalog in my head like very quickly right now, and I don't think the first thing that came to my head was like, oh, a pretty young thing like PYT. But even that is like that. Weirdly enough, that is actually what people back then used to call like how people say "shawty" now, or like the kids now say "my little shit," which is really weird. Like
That's
I'm
crazy.
I can't even fathom. But now kids literally say like "you my little shit." Or or the other one that's like you my ball, which I really don't get that one. Like it's weird.
My only guess is that basketball culture has become. I'm making shit up right now. Basketball culture has become so much bigger. So maybe you my ball is like you the ball to my basketball player. I don't.
We're officially at the age where certain things that the younger kids say just sound crazy and weird to us, and we don't understand. Do you know this 6'7" trend? Where kids just say
what's
6'7"?
funny is I actually watched a video about a linguist talking about that.
6'7" specifically, or just like the way?
6'7" specifically. It was actually a super interesting video.
I don't get the 6'7" shit at all. I just learned about it last week. I just learned about it a week ago.
What's so cool, so I'm going to give a very short version of this. If you look it up on YouTube, I'm sure you can find it, like Linguist 6'7", you guys can find it. But the extremely short version of this is like, on one end, it's a term that means nothing, right? It's just 6'7" doesn't have a meaning. Kids just say it, and it's a signifier of like just being in. The fact that you're also saying 6'7" is like, we're on the same side, and
if
like
you know,
nobody
you
else
know.
gets it. Yeah, if you know, you know, and it doesn't mean anything, right? That's like kind of what it's become. It's been backwards transcribed to like I think LaMelo Ball, who is a basketball player, and he is 6'7". And I think there was like some random white kid or a group of kids at a basketball game, and they were just like 6'7", and they were like doing this thing with their hands, and they were just saying 6'7", talking about LaMelo Ball, and then like it's been like backwards transcribed to like be a reference to him and like the way he moves on the court. But it goes back further than that. The actual origin of it is from, I forget the name of the rapper, but he's a Philly rapper. And in his song, there's a part where he says like 6'7", I just bipped on the highway.
Yep. That's what I heard. It came from that Philly rapper. I forget his name as well.
What's crazy is that people, even with that, people tried to like apply meanings to it that didn't make sense. People just made shit up. This is why you can't really, when you Google something, this is a side rant to a side rant to a side rant. But I also just want to clarify to anybody listening, this is for you to take for your own knowledge and to not get gaslit by people you're talking to. If someone says, I researched it, press them a little bit more. Because nowadays, what people mean when they say, I researched it, what they mean is I Googled it and I read a result off Google.
Yep.
That's not research. Research is the reason why scientists and researchers are respected. It is to actually research something is an arduous task. It's not Google the first thing you see.
Yep.
So,
especially with the AI results being inaccurate now.
Yes. So there's people who went on to say what that meant was, he was talking about, I think, 67th Street in Chicago, which is a notoriously dangerous street in Chicago where people get murdered. And so when he says 6'7", I just bipped on the highway, he's talking about a section of Chicago, which doesn't make sense because the rapper's from Philly. The whole song takes place in Philly. The music video is everybody wearing Eagles gear in Philly after the Super Bowl that the Eagles won.
Right.
So everything about it is Philly. To incorrectly say, oh, he's talking about Chicago is fucking crazy, right? And what the linguist, it's a really interesting video. He goes on to talk about all of this different stuff and how these different linguistic things happen and how specifically black linguistics get like misunderstood by widespread America and then get reinterpreted to mean something else and then just get widespread acceptance, not meaning the original thing they meant. And
oh God, this is like the word woke.
Yeah. And then he hypothesizes because he even says like my hypothesis of what the original meaning of what the rapper says in that song. He said, this is my hypothesis. I'm not saying I'm right, but I think his hypothesis makes sense. Is he's talking about a police code, a Philadelphia police code that is like, I think 1067, which means homicide or something to that degree. And the previous lines of the song are talking about his shooter catching a body and all the
Right.
previous lines of the song are about homicide.
It's in context.
And then he says 6-7, which seems to be a reference to 1067, a police code referencing homicide.
And then on the highway. So yeah, that actually checks out. It's closer to that than the Chicago thing.
Yeah. So, but now it's been incorporated into culture in such a way where now it just means nothing, and it's just a way. It's a thing to say to like be
cool.
Yeah,
and for kids, cool for kids. It's like me and you were like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" But children now, when I walk to the gym or whatever, there'll just be a group of kids, and they'll be saying 6-7 for no reason at all, and just loud about it. And
and if you ask them what they mean, they don't know. They won't be able to give you an explanation.
Yeah, and I never ask them because I don't want to get jumped or whatever. But
true.
I just wonder, it's like, damn, I really got to the age where I don't understand what's cool anymore for kids. Like, I used to be in the know, and I thought that I would always be kind of like this other topic that we could briefly touch on before ending. Growing out of the point where, or I should say, like, technology passing you. And what I mean by this is, so like older people, right? When we were younger, we were a generation that kind of grew up with computers and video games and things like that, cell phones. We naturally had it. And so our parents could understand how to do certain things with, like, even the cable TV. They didn't understand how to work certain things. Like when On Demand came out on Comcast, like On Demand, my grandmother couldn't quite understand what was going on. Like,
Frey, can you come? I want to watch.
Or she
whatever.
accidentally pressed the On Demand button and she couldn't get back to the regular TV.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to watch Judge Judy. Can you turn this On Demand off?
Yeah. Like, so that's an example of technology like passing you. It got to the point where you no longer understand how to use it. And, you know, we're still young for all intents and purposes. We still relatively are, I think, good with technology, but there are certain things that I think are kind of happening right now where I feel like I might end up getting left behind. Like, for example, the AI thing is becoming the new, like, learning how to prompt AI is a skill. So you know how it's a skill to Google? Like, me and you, I think, are really good at Googling. And some people are bad at it. Some people, if you tell them to Google something, you'd be like, well, why'd you search that? Like, we've actually had these moments where we're like, well, you didn't look up you didn't type in the right fucking thing. That's why you got
on some crazy shit.
Yeah, like, why would you type that? Or you get too specific with the question, or you ask it in a way that's like, is going to give you a result that is a little, you're kind of like leading the witness there. You said something you're arguing a point, and so when you Google it, you kind of lead Google to where you're going to find the part of the internet where you're correct, right?
Yep.
Ask it open-ended. And it's kind of understood that if I'm arguing with you, you don't ask the question from your perspective. You ask it open-ended to see what it actually thinks. Anyway, that's a skill. That's an actual skill. Knowing how to Google something correctly is a fucking skill. Yep. Knowing how to prompt AI is also a skill. And I have been realizing that I'm really bad at it. I have ChatGPT. I have a premium subscription. IMNerd podcast, we have a premium subscription. And I've been trying to use it. And like, to some, you know, if I ask it like a question or whatever, I get pretty decent results. When I ask it to do like image stuff and things like that, I have to keep refining it over and over and over again. And then eventually I get frustrated because it takes so long to get a result anyway when you ask it for an image. So like, if you try to prompt it to get an image, it's going to take a minute for it to fucking generate the image. And then it never does it the way I want it to really do it on the first try. It just does some wild shit. You have to reprompt it, and then it gives it to you again, but now it changed something that you didn't even tell it to change. So that it's a mess. But then I see some people on the internet, and this is getting to the point here. I see other people post AI things on, like, Twitter, for example, is a big place where people post AI images. I'll see them post something, and they'll literally say, this is the prompt I used to get this image. And it will be the most absurd shit that I would have never thought to type. Like, parameters, the fucking aspect ratio, what they want specifically in the background, what they want in the foreground, just like so many specific parameters that I didn't even think to. Like, I thought, you know, give me me and Kenny as royals, and I thought that would be like good. Here's our pictures, make us in the royals, and it'll just do something so absurd. And I'm like, this is not what I wanted at all. But then other people know how to go, give it these 7 things, and it'll give you exactly what you're thinking of in your head. And I haven't learned this skill yet. Not to say that I won't, but like, when you think about technology passing you and this whole AI revolution that's happening right now, how do you feel about that? Like, do you think that technology will eventually be so old that like some things are just get somebody young to do it?
I don't think so. This could be hubris. I think everybody thinks this, right? But when it comes to technology, I do think that our age group is the most dominant age group because of us coming from technology not being what it is. Us having, like, in comparison to now, us having like primitive technology.
Yeah, no Google.
and then growing through like the Stone Ages to the fucking light speed era that we're in now. Us growing through all of that, at least myself, I guess not everybody, because I do know people my age that are idiots when it comes to technology.
Same.
But
there are some
speaking for myself
people.
and like you and Medina and just whoever, we have a basis of understanding from like nothing to now where it's very difficult for me to be completely helpless with anything technology wise. The simple fact that, like you said, there are people that don't know how to Google. The simple fact that I do know how to Google means at the end of the day, there's nothing I can't do. Like I can't operate on a heart, but if I really want to do something, I'll be able to figure out how it's done.
That's a good point.
If it's something that like can be done on a computer or with technology, like if I really want to do it and I have the patience to care, I can do it. Like it's something that I can figure out. Yeah, and because I'll curse about it the whole time, but like I can get there.
Yep. If I'm not being lazy, if I'm not procrastinating, I can technically figure out how to do anything. Like there was a period where I didn't know how to edit videos. That period wasn't that long ago. That was within the last couple of years. I just learned how to do video editing in the last couple. So do you. Like me and you, we were not fucking content creators, not in the way that we are now. We were not posting multiple videos a week on YouTube or whatever. And that is a skill in itself that you really have to teach yourself how to make a video. But not just like how to make a video and how to edit it, how to make it actually entertaining in a way. Like, you know what I mean? Like inserting things that make it engaging for the viewer is a skill in itself. And I didn't understand or know what went into it. I just consumed these things. And then when you go to actually create them, you're like, holy shit, so much goes into this, right? Yeah. When we started doing a progression series, watching the progression series is like eye candy. It's like, holy shit, there's so many things happening. It's so cool. There's so many segments of it. The part where you guys talk in the beginning, the part where you open your packs individually, the part where you build your decks individually, the part where you come together in duel. There's so many aspects of it, the intro, everything, right? And this all has to come together after like 8 different portions were recorded. All this has to come together to make one video. This is one video and it has like 8 different fucking parts of it that's Frankenstein together, and then it has all these other parts, different music for like you have a theme when you're building your deck, I have a theme when I'm building my deck. There's all this different stuff explaining the pack, what you were doing at the time. There's so much that goes into it, and like all of this was self-taught by me and you from just wanting to do this. So the same way I'm talking about, you know, with AI and how to prompt it correctly. Right now, I feel like an idiot because I just don't know how to do it right. And I'm going to self-teach myself. Like, I'm going to learn how to fucking talk to these things because I feel like I have to.
It's one of those things where you learn by osmosis. You've seen other people do certain prompts or all those crazy things. Yep. Here's the thing. Most of the people, here's the other thing you got to kind of realize for yourself and not feel so bad or whatever. Most of those people don't know what they're doing either, because a big wave on the internet now with a lot of people is they don't necessarily know or understand what they're doing. They just get given building blocks. Like, for example, like it's called like vibe coding. Like there's a bunch of people where they don't really know how to code, but they give prompts to ChatGPT, and they also just like take stacks of code from different websites that have like, here's like a stack of code that does this. Yeah. And they just like put those stacks of code into their thing, and then they'll ChatGPT another thing of code, and they just kind of like vibe code. Hey, this line of code didn't work. Can you change it to make it work this way? And so like they don't know how to code, but they're just like stringing shit together using AI. And then like you give it to like a real coder and they're like, what the fuck is this? And like it worked, but there'll be all these security like flaws, like all these security breaches, like all these things wrong with it on the back end. But like you don't realize all these things are wrong with it. But a real coder looks at it and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like this is held together with strings and duct tape. Like, what the hell is going on right now? Man. That's what they're doing. They just got those prompts off like somewhere else.
Yeah, someone
and they were told these are good, and they just like put them in. The other thing is you can just use ChatGPT to teach you how to use ChatGPT.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
You can just ask it a question about how to use it better, and it'll teach you how to use it better.
Yo, that is one, great advice, and I'm writing this down. 2, that is so absurd to me to ask the fucking AI that's eventually going to become my leader, like, how do I use you better while you're in your infancy? Like, how do I use you better? Oh, that's great. That's great. No, but I agree with you. After talking it out, I think that because me and you are of that age, we're millennials. We're of the age where we existed before Google. we existed before you could search everything on Google. All the answers to the world were not known on the internet. The internet wasn't really a big thing. We didn't grow up with computers in our household immediately. Like when I was 5 years old, I don't think there was a computer and an internet connection in my house at 5. But now kids are just born with like internet is just a normal thing. Every household basically should have internet. At least in speaking in American terms. I know that there are countries out there where, you know.
Yeah.
But like as an American, it is very normal for an American child to just grow up with technology in a house like the internet. And because we had to literally learn the internet from no internet to what it is, this, like you said, the light speed age we live in now, we had to learn it. We had to learn how to Google by osmosis. No one taught me how to Google. I just kind of learned because I got a lot of bad results over time and I refined my results. And then eventually I'm like, okay, this is how you talk to Google.
Yep. Also, there's building blocks. Like the computers weren't able to do everything they can do now, right? So imagine trying. It's why people have such a hard time like learning how to play a fighting game. Because if you turn on a fighting game and you just go online and play somebody, you just get beat every which fucking direction. You're like, what the fuck? Where? Like you're just getting beat from every side, and you don't even know where to start. You don't even know, and then you don't even know how to start figuring out where to start. Like there's so much going on, right? There with the computers and internet and phones nowadays, there's so much. And kids and people just jump into it using the most like user-friendly basic understanding of it. But like I know people that can zip around their iPhone, but if you actually tell them to like dive into their settings and really figure things out, they don't know even where to begin. They don't know how to, like they can use their iPhone, do everything they want. They can go on Instagram and TikTok and they can do all that stuff. But if they actually need to dive into their phone and figure out why something's not working right, how to change a certain setting or make something work differently, they don't know how to do it. But when I grew up using computers, I learned how to get into the settings. I learned what fucking right click does. Like there's so much about computers and so much about phones, etc. Digging into like the internals of it and really understanding how they work. Just simply knowing what Control Alt Delete does and using the task manager. Most people, most like kids younger than me don't know what that, like if I say Control Alt Delete, my brothers don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But they all use computers and laptops and phones and stuff like that. But like they don't know how to use the task manager. They don't know what Control Alt Delete does. They don't know how to dive into like the command line if they have to. And they don't know how to use Google to figure out how to do that. To be like, there's just at some point there's so much information. So I do think the kids nowadays are at a bit of a disadvantage where there's so much information. It's hard to know everything that I know about a computer because you're just in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So you don't even know where to begin learning all this intricate shit, especially with everything that already exists going forward. So yeah,
they are in a very unique area. I do not envy them, even though they're young. You know, being young is broken, but then at the same time, being young has its own issues with it because you don't really take advantage of it. Usually, most people don't really use their youth.
And the opposite thing is happening. People that are my age that are maybe smarter than me or had more money than me or just went into the right field, whatever it may be, but they're now in positions where they're in control of these companies. And so they're the ones feeding the algorithms to like different kids and whatnot. So like the point is, like you just said, you don't know to take advantage of it. And on the flip side, the people that are my age are taking advantage of it to take advantage of you, to make money off of you, to sell your data, to get you to stay on their website, to get you to click this. And because kids nowadays aren't growing up in the era of like viruses in the way that we had viruses, like because the viruses are still there, but they don't happen the way they happened when we were growing up. So I feel like kids are going to be a lot more susceptible to viruses and all the exploits that are going to happen to them because there's a level of safety they're not going to have dealing with the internet because they're not really exposed to like blatant viruses the way we were.
Yeah, that's true.
I
definitely got viruses when I was younger because, you know, like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And eventually I learned, like anything else, okay, you need ad blockers. You need to know how to not click on things, not go to certain web pages. It was all in the pursuit of porn, obviously. But yeah, you get viruses and then you learn from that. Like we definitely had to trial and error our way through a lot of shit. And that kind of made us better now. Like it's very hard to trick me now. One of the things is people send me links and I don't mean my friends. Like if you sent me a link, if Medina sent me a link, if you post a link in Bro Out, if you post a link in the house, I'm going to click it. Yeah. But if somebody that I don't know like that, somebody who's not my close friend sends me a link, even if I know of you and like we're cool or whatever, I'm not clicking it because what I have not done is I have not vetted you to not be an idiot. Like you can try when I send a link. I promise you it's not malicious. It's just either a link to Instagram, a link to YouTube, something like that. I'm not going to send you to some fucking random ass website. I'm not going to link you to something that like is going to pull up 18,000 pop-ups. If you're scared to click on an Instagram link or a YouTube link, I'm afraid you probably don't know how to use computers at all at that point, because like those are two of the most trusted platforms in the entire world, because they have to be. They literally just fucking have to be. So when people send me things that they find to be funny, but I look at the link and I see that it's not a reputable like website type thing or whatever. And even if it looks like it is, because links can be deceiving.
That's the thing. Links can be deceiving. You can make a link. You can make a link say YouTube. You can make a link be like youtube.com, blah, blah, blah. And the link is actually pigfuckers.com.
Yep.
Like it's a different link. And people that are really good on the internet can disguise links that way. That way, like going to what Frazier said, if I don't know you like that,
I'm not.
I don't click your links.
I will
ever.
not.
Like, it could
click.
say YouTube. It could say
I'm not
whatever.
doing it.
It doesn't matter. I do not click the link.
And I feel bad sometimes because I know a lot of people try to send me funny shit. They try to send me things they think I'll be interested in. But I even will say, no offense, I'm just not clicking that. I'll say a lot of times I'll say, what is that? Like they'll send me a link and I'll say, what is that? And then they'll tell me what it is. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. I don't click links though.
Yeah.
Because like I'm just not doing that. I see too many people, especially like on Facebook. I see too many people on Facebook when they get hacked and then they start posting random nonsense. Like their account just starts posting random and it's always kind of funny because it's like, bro, this person got hacked, which I don't want to be harsh, but when people get hacked and their account starts being used by some fucking guy in a foreign country to just like post nonsense, I think so lowly of them. Like I genuinely do. I can't help it. Like I naturally just kind of think, oh God, like how did you get, like, what did you click on for that to happen to you?
It gets bad. You know, somebody that I hadn't talked to in years, I started talking to him again. And then like not long after talking to him, and like I hung out with him in person.
Yeah.
So like he was it was actually him when we reconnected. Not long after that though, he got hacked. And it wasn't super clear to me at first, but like I want to find it's just like so random. Like,
was the hacker trying to like, it was someone who hacked the account and they were trying to talk to you?
So yeah,
they were pretending to be him.
One day
type thing?
I just got like a text. I got a text from him and it was like, I think I got like a call and I didn't answer the call because I was like busy. And then I got a text and it was like, good morning, have a great day today on purpose and stay cool. It's going to be a hot one. And I was just like, what?
Yeah, that's what.
And then so I tried calling him.
Eat, pray, love. What is?
Yeah. So I tried calling him, and then like he didn't answer, and I called him again, and he didn't answer, and then he sent me like a text message, and it's just like of a church, and then he sent me another text like, "Hey bro, how you doing today? Just checking up on you." And then I called him. Like after getting this text message, I called him. Like, I did not respond to the text. I called him, and then he didn't answer. Then he sent me another text, "How you been, bro?" And then so finally I go like, "Yo, how you been?" He doesn't respond. He says, "How you been?" I said, "Yo, how you been?" And then he doesn't respond to that text. And then days later, I get another text. "Good morning. Have a great day today. On purpose." I don't know why. I don't know what.
Okay. Then, but you're not going to keep saying. You're not just going to. You're not just going to keep hitting me with the on purpose. You're not going to keep hitting me with the. Because like.
I don't know.
I can't deal. Oh God, yo, I can't deal.
Like,
I'm crying.
I don't know what's happening. So I'm just like, and then I got sent a couple links, and I just tried like calling him a couple times, and I was like not responding in text, and but he's just like hacked, and he's either hacked or like he suddenly became really, really, really slow. Like I don't. Like he either got hacked or lobotomized. Like one of the two.
Oh, I am in fucking tears. Oh my God. Like you were repeating the on purpose part multiple times. Like I can't, like the first time you said it, I was like, okay. And then you just that is too much. No, when people get hacked, I just think so lowly of them. And I feel bad because it's like sometimes, I'm not above it. I could get hacked too.
Yeah, it could happen to us, 100%.
I just haven't been hacked because I don't click on things that I feel like might hack my shit.
Yeah.
So do better.
I mean, there's definitely devious ways, like, and it can happen to anybody. As soon as you think it can't happen to you, it'll happen to you. But it happens to some people more than others.
Yes.
Some people are more
especially
susceptible to it.
Older people get caught all the time. They get, AI is the fucking devil to old people, man.
Oh,
because they already couldn't tell what was real or fake before AI, right? Like they couldn't tell before, and now that things just look real, especially to the eyes of someone who's 60, 70 or whatever like that, they'll never be able to really decipher. Like,
I interact with so many people, and just because of my job, everybody is consuming AI content, and like I won't even have to see the video, and just by the way the video sounds, I know it's AI.
Yeah, you know it's not real.
And like they'll be watching it, and like they think it's real, and every now and then somebody will be like, "Yo, like this is," and like somebody will show it to me, like, oh, look, and like they think it's real, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, like that's a crazy AI video." Like I'll say it in a way like we're both in it on it. He goes, and they go, "That's not AI. Like, what do you think that's AI?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Wait, maybe it's not, but like I think it's AI. Like, do you see this?"
Yeah, you're trying to play it off, but like it's
like I try to be
AI
nice about it. But
yeah,
like,
you don't want to call them out for being dumb.
Yeah, I knew before I saw it was AI. Like I knew just by listening to it was AI. But like people are just consuming it and not even knowing that what they're consuming is fake.
I have a friend that today I told him to stop sending me these videos. So I have a friend that he's on Instagram and he keeps sending me AI reels. I do not click any of them. I remember when he first started doing it, I clicked on them and I realized that, okay, that's AI. Then I just backed out of it, went back to our DMs, and I just put LOL, hoping that would be like enough to, and then he would send me 2 more the next day, and I click on them. I'm like, oh, these are AI. Like they're all within Instagram, right? So he's not sending me outside links. He's sending me like just other content on Instagram, but it's all AI content, and it would just be like nonsense stuff. A lot of it was like Beyonce shit and stuff like that, but it's like it's not real. It's not her. Like it's AI. It looks exactly like Beyonce. It sounds exactly like Beyonce, but it's not her. And so this is just an example of some of the shit that he sends me. And some of it looks really cool or whatever like that, but I really just have grown to dislike it. So today he sent me like 3 in a row and I hadn't responded yet. So he sent 1, 2, 3, like, but they were sent apart from each other. They weren't sent like immediately together. So when I finally do check, you know, I'm not always on social media, but when I finally did check, I saw it was 3 videos in a row without clicking on any of them. I wrote to him, hold on, let me go. I'm opening my DM right now. Let me see exactly what I said.
Oh, shit. Let
me see exactly what I said. Hold on. Cause I just said this today, 6 hours ago. I said, yo, you have got to chill with the AI videos. Like period.
Yeah.
Like you have got to, I said, yo, you have got to chill with the AI videos. And he responded, LOL. And I don't know if he thinks that I'm joking.
But you're like, bro.
Yeah, like if he sends me another one, I'm gonna have to restrict him from being able to DM me because I really, really, really am like I do not want to keep seeing that. It is so corny and so obnoxious.
You know what else too? Like, you know, people have heard me talk about AI quite a few times.
We're gonna be talking about it for a while because it's just for
the rest of our lives.
It's the future, bro. It's unfortunate. But it is actually just where the world is going. We can't stop it. There's nothing we can do about it. It's going to be a part of life going forward. It is.
Yeah. One of my things, all I can do is like try to slow it down, my small voice.
Yeah.
But one of the things, and I was talking about this with a friend of mine, and that can't understand why I like don't really like AI art and stuff like that. And he was like, it looks really good. Like there's a bunch of really good looking AI art. And I was like, I never said it doesn't look good. Like, yeah, there's some really great looking things made with AI. Like it looks phenomenal. Yeah. I'm not saying that. The thing is though, part of what makes anything interesting to me, and I think to most people, is the fact that a human did it. A really good example. Now I have some of my own examples I'll give, but an example I heard from someone else, I don't remember where I heard this from, but I heard somebody else say this. It's impressive. Like whoever the fastest human is, the fastest running human, let's say it's Usain Bolt, who I think it's him, but maybe it's not. But let's say it's Usain Bolt. He's impressive because he runs really fast. He can't run faster than a car, but it's impressive that he can run that fast because he's a human doing it.
Yeah.
We have cars and planes and trains and jets that can move faster than him. But you're not like impressed by that in the same way you're impressed by a human running as fast as a human can run. And it's impressive because a human did it. And then cars are impressive because humans made them. Humans came, and like planes are impressive because humans made them. The Wright brothers created planes, and like humans are now able to be in the sky because humans created it. But then it'd be even more impressive if you saw a human flying by himself, right? And so like with art, you can show me this grand looking piece of art or whatever. But if it was just made by an AI, it's not that interesting to me because there's no like thought put into the tiny details. There's no thought put into what is in the art. There's no like passion or heart into it. Whereas if a human does it, what makes that so much more interesting is because I know a human spent thousands of hours of his life becoming good enough to do that.
Yep.
And then not just he became that good to do it, when he does it, when he's actively drawing or painting or whatever, he's making decisions, or they are making decisions, and you can find like pieces of them in little why did they put this detail there? And there's a lot of interest in what they did. Another example that I use is we all celebrated when Stango got first place at that Rivals of Aether tournament.
Yep.
We all celebrated when Frazier got first place at that Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. We celebrated because they're our friends and they're humans doing them, right? I can watch computers play Smash Bros. But like, are you going to watch an entire tournament of computers playing Smash? And are you going to care which computer won in the finals?
Yo, that's
No.
such a good point, though. Because, like, I would not care whatsoever if fucking computer AI just went at each other.
Yeah, like, what the fuck do I care about two computers fighting each other in Smash? I don't. But if Stango wins a tournament, I care for everything because it's a human doing it.
Yeah.
And there's a care that comes with the fact that humans did it. And so that's one of my rants on AI compared to other ones. I'm not saying some of the stuff they do isn't impressive. Sure, it is.
A lot of it is impressive. It's not a problem of being impressed or not. It's a problem of it being fucking soulless.
Yes.
Honestly, if we get to the root of it, it's soulless. And you can say that this is like some mumbo jumbo woo woo wah wah bullshit, but art and things that we consume even if it's cringe, if it's bad, it's cringe because a human being thought that it was okay and it's not, and that's what makes it cringe, which is its own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like cringe.
Yeah.
Cringe is still, even cringe, I'm starting to be like, you know what? At least a human put that out. Yes, it is cringe, right? But it was done by a human being.
And he thought he was going to shut the internet down with that one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He thought he was going to
hand,
shut it down.
computers just take everything that they found on the internet, everything that's been fed to them, and they regurgitate it in this way that is so just lifeless.
That's the other thing too. Another reason why it's hard for me to care about let's just use art as the example, is because like at the end of the day, all of these models are trained off of stolen art. Like it's stolen copyrighted material that they're trained on without permission. So when they're like, look how impressive this piece of art is that this AI made, it's like, well, yeah, it's impressive because it took the art of the greatest artist in the world.
Right.
Like it took all of their art and then threw it together and then still got the fingers wrong. So like what it made was really fucking cool and really impressive. But when you look at it and you realize there's like no, like, because for me, I love art. And so when I look at like different things, like different ways that like something is put into an image, I really look at like a lot of these little details and stuff and just really get into it. And I appreciate it. Like it's one of the reasons why I love reading manga, because I get to spend so much time on a page and really take in what the artist put there for me to see. And when you look at an AI image, it's grand for what it is. You're looking at something that looks really cool, but you know there's no substance and like getting down to the details and figuring out why did they do that way.
Oh,
like,
you'll never know.
That? Yeah, and it's just because the computer thought that was. It's just like
there's really no question to be asked either. That you answered it. It's because the computer thought that was correct.
Yeah.
Like the decision tree, whatever decision tree that goes on in a human's mind when they're doing things, you'll never get that part from the AI.
Mm-mm.
Like that part is just it thinks it's optimal. That's the answer. It thought that was the optimal thing for what the input was. Whatever the input was, if I say generate this or do this, it's going to say this by searching the entire internet. It's going to say this is the optimal way to deliver this what he asked for.
Yep. And once again, this is like harping on all of it. But another thing is, I think humans are impressed by things that are hard. I don't think that. I think it's just like a fact. Like things that are hard are impressive, and if something's not hard to do, it's not impressive. So AI art isn't all that impressive to me because you click a button and then like this computer does it. And so like the Daigo parry is impressive because
that shit's crazy.
That's very fucking hard. But
that shit was like a computer before computers took over. That was some computer generated clip. That is still peak human activity right there. Like that shit is crazy to me.
Yeah, like you could train an AI to be the best Yu-Gi-Oh player probably. Yeah. And it would probably like legit, if we really trained an AI to be the best Edison format player, like it would probably have a crazy good win rate over a lot of people.
Yeah,
right?
it would be making decisions that are
chess.
so obscure to us because it's like that is not a human decision that you just made, but it makes sense mathematically because you can compute the math way faster than I could, right? Like, I always say a lot of the way I play Yu-Gi-Oh is based on probability and math, but in a game, I cannot actually sit there and do everything. I can't possibly do all the real math that I would need to make the right decision. But a computer, A computer could literally say, there's a bottomless in the graveyard, there's a deep person in the graveyard, there's a mirror force in the graveyard, there's no torrential, there's no call, there's no this, there's no that, there's this, this,
And
this.
there's the exact percentage.
Yes.
This is my chance of this being successful.
And I don't know that. And it would be able to do that with every fucking decision based on what it sees, right? It would trap that shoot and know exactly what to do, which I kind of already do that, but like it would just have a perfect numerical value on the decision that it's making. Obviously where it could fail is like, you know, a physical opponent has certain tells they might give off. But if we're just saying, let's say a dueling book tournament where there are no people physically present, right?
Yeah.
And I do respect dueling book tournaments. They're, you know, they are different from in real life tournaments, but I do respect them in their own way. They're just separate. They're different.
Yeah. They're certainly stats in their own right.
They're stats in their own right.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're stats in their own right. They're just a different kind of stat. But on like if I was playing against a DB AI that was programmed to be the best Edison player, and it was just calcing very quickly based on like, okay, I'm playing against X player. So this is Frazier. All right. Frazier is playing Hero Frogs. We confirm this because turn 1, he summoned Stratos, Surf Style Ocean, then special summon Swap Frog. They would say, well, most likely this is his list. And they would just start to make decisions. The chance of him having a Monarch right now is this. The chance of him having a Discard Trap is this. And it would just have, and like, sure, I'm doing this when I'm playing too, but I'm not doing this nearly as much and as fast as a computer could just constantly be updating updating the values every single turn by every piece of information gathered.
And while they're doing that, it's not disrupting their mental stack from thinking of anything else.
Correct.
They're just doing all of it at the same time without their mental being distracted by anything. So the grand point of all of this is if you have an AI that does that, it might be cool for a week. Like people go like, oh shit, this AI won a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. But it'll be cool in a novelty way. But realistically, if you enter that AI in every tournament and it wins 7 out of 10 tournaments, it's not going to be interesting because it's just a computer being perfect because that's what fucking they do already.
Yeah.
It's not going to be anywhere near as interesting as Frazier winning a tournament. Whereas,
yeah, like, who are you rooting for?
Yeah, who are you rooting for? Yeah, like
humans like
the AI named Steve or the AI named, you know, Brandon, like who are you like just a bunch of AIs with different names? Or you're rooting for Gary and Cairo and Frazier and they have and then it's cool because they did these certain things, they made these plays, and it's impressive because a human does it.
Also, afterwards, they tell you about their journey to that gold. And
think about how much people are interested in like deck build, like deck videos, deck profiles, and why'd you make this decision? How come you played this card? Most people don't play that. Why'd you decide to play that for this tournament? And AI doesn't have those answers. It's just like this was correct. And like
it's so boring.
Yeah.
Like today I was in the Frog Discord channel. We can end with this. I was in the Frog Discord channel. Rawneck just got top 4 at a tournament over the weekend. Beast Mode had a online tournament, 100 players. And he used the new time rules, by the way. Something I do want to talk about. He used the new time rules, the new Konami time rules, where it's 50 minutes, double loss. He used them yesterday for his tournament, which was an online DB tournament. And yeah, I'll talk about that at another time. But that tournament where Rawneck got top 4, in the Frog channel, he used a Diva Frog deck and he played Dragon Ice, which is a card that I don't think it's ever topped until yesterday. And if it has, it topped like one time in the last 4 years, and who fucking remembers? Anyway, my point is, everyone in the Frog channel is focusing on like, oh man, this deck is so cool. Diva Frogs it fell out of popularity years ago, and Hero Frogs kind of took over. No one's really talking about it anymore. But now Rawneck has made it a popular topic, and they're asking about Dragon Ice, and he listed like 8 bullet points of why Dragon Ice is a good card. Yeah. And people are now doing follow-up questions. My point is, Rawneck is in the Frog channel right now talking about a deck list that people haven't seen before because it's different from even the old Diva Frog decks they used to play. So this is a new Diva Frog deck list, and he's answering questions from people who are answering back and forth. And I just think that's so cool because it's a human being telling you why they made the decisions they made, how they got to, he got top 4 in a 100-person tournament. That's really impressive. Like, he almost won. He was literally one game away from being in the finals, and one match after that away from winning the whole thing. So, like, people, of course, are interested in that success. How do I get that success? And sure, if he was a computer, you could say, why did you make this decision? But it's just going to give you some fucking boring mathematical answer that has no heart, like nothing. You know, sometimes people say, Frazier, why'd you do this? And I'm saying, because I just felt like it. And that is a very human answer, but a computer would never tell you that.
Yeah, it felt like the right move. It felt like it was a good card. And then sometimes you get like people saying like, why'd you play this card? You're like, oh, I really thought these are my reasons. I thought logistically this card would be really good.
I heard there was a lot of GBs.
Sucked all weekend.
Yes.
Like all weekend it sucked.
I never drew it. That's another one. Like, I played it. I never drew it. Like, I didn't actually get to test. Like, Chess Prime played Card Destruction recently, like in the last month or so, they played Card Destruction in their Gigavice deck, and people were asking how did Card Destruction do, and she's like, I literally couldn't tell you because I never drew it.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I don't have an answer for you yet. I'll tell you when I find out. But I don't know. It's just interesting to think about a human giving you answers and being able to go back and forth with a human as opposed to AI. Now, granted, this is like the first couple of years of AI. In 20 years, this conversation is going to look silly. Just the same way to
and AI might be our president, though. Who knows?
That's what I'm saying.
20 years. In
20 years, this conversation is going to be silly because just the same way, there's this clip that I always talk about with Burger King where they first started allowing people to use credit cards at Burger King.
Yeah.
And there's a video, I think I played the clip on the podcast before. Basically,
yeah, we did. It was funny.
Yeah, basically, the news people are asking, how do you feel about Burger King allowing you to use credit card at Burger King? And the guy's like, it's just kind of ridiculous. Like swiping credit for a burger and fries is so insane. Like, what does the world come into? Another lady's like, I just don't think you should be able to do that. Like credit is something that, you should be using it to buy like really important things, not a burger. And then another person is like, yeah, I just like, where are we going now? Like, what's the next step? Are we going to start buying guns with credit cards? Like, it's just funny because at that time they could not possibly fathom that I now double click the side of my phone and Apple Pay comes up and I pay everything in the world. When I was in Japan, I used Apple Pay on every single transaction in Japan for 2 weeks straight. Just double click Apple Pay, double click Apple Pay. My bank converts it automatically. I don't even get charged a fee or anything. Double click Apple Pay, accept it everywhere. It's Visa, but it's literally on my phone. I just double click, Apple Pay comes up, I put it next to the device and it pays for it. And that is just like the world we live in. I call an Uber, I get in the back of a stranger's car every time I want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
20 years ago, if you asked my grandmother, I'm going to call you a taxi, but it's not going to be a taxi cab. It's going to be a random car that's going to be different every single time you call it with a driver who is not licensed to be a taxi driver, but they're just a random person. You're just going to get in the back and they're going to take you where you want to go.
Yep.
Should be like absolutely fucking not.
Crazy. That shit is crazy.
So
yeah, it's weird. There is, and once again, it could just be like a misunderstanding of things, right? Like maybe this is how everybody felt for every technology, but
yeah,
there is the thing with AI that's interesting is that unlike every technology that's come before it, the people that are making it don't understand, which is kind of interesting and scary about it. Most technology is built from the ground up. It's ones and zeros, and you can turn something on and turn it off. But with AI, it doesn't work that way. You just like give it an algorithm to learn, and it just learns in a way that a human learns, just at an extremely accelerated rate. So Elon Musk ran into this problem a lot with his XAI because the idea was they made this AI to be the ultimate truth-seeking AI and to say the truth no matter what, not to care about whether or not it hurts somebody's feelings or is politically correct, to just always say the truth. And then it started to disagree with everything Elon Musk and Donald Trump said. It was just like, it disagreed with everything. So then Elon Musk determined that the internet taught it to be liberal and that he had to go in and adjust it.
Oh, no.
And so like it disagreed with him and it disagreed with Trump. And then the AI had to get adjusted to then start to agree with Elon Musk and Trump. And then it started going the other way where it called itself Mecha Hitler. Yeah. And it started talking about Jewish people and Jewish. Like there's one, I forget the lady's name, but it's a lady's last name that's a very Jewish sounding last name. And they ask it, like, Grok, what do you think about what this person said about this? And Grok's like, it's always those last names, isn't it? It's always the people with that last name doing this. And somebody said, Grok, what do you mean by by those last names? And he's like, oh, you know what I mean. And then he just goes off, he straight up says it, the Jews. And he goes on and then Elon Musk and the other people at XAI are continuously like, we don't know why it did this. We don't know why it did that. We have to tweak. We have to make it relearn this. We're not sure why it came to this conclusion. And so it's like, people don't really understand. Like when you make an AI, you don't really know what you're going to get out the other side. You can put a bunch of parameters on it and make it think one way or another. But at the end of the day, it does end up with like a mind of its own in a way. So
naturally,
it's weird.
Well, guys, I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope that you all did too.
Yeah, these are my favorite.
These are literally
a lot.
Yeah,
these are my favorite.
These are my favorite episodes too because I had no idea going into this exactly what we were going to talk about, and it just kind of is a natural conversation that evolved and went into 18 different directions, which personally I enjoy. Hopefully, you guys did too. We're going to read out the Patreon names. Also, tournament November 8th. There's a 1K. Don't forget about that. There's a 1K happening on November 8th. So now we are a little under like 3 weeks from that happening. There's like 2 more weeks of October, and then basically it's the first week of November. So that tournament's coming up really soon. You need to be a party member or higher to play in that tournament. So just like last time, party member or higher, and you're eligible to play in the tournament. It is a 1K. First place will be $400, and then it scales from there. You can look at what happened with the last one if you want to know exactly how like the payout worked. PayPal, Cash App, whatever. Like we sent the money that same night. Everything went smoothly. We had a judge and everything. It was great. So if you are interested in that type of thing, it's Edison format. There are no special rules, just straight up Edison format as you know it. But that is a 1K happening on November 8th. Other things coming down the pipeline. We have, and just formally announced today, a Nintendo Switch 2 giveaway, which is the biggest giveaway on the channel. So when we get to 10K, that will officially be, I'll go live like I always do. And then we'll use a program to kind of pick, one of the comments on that video, and that person will win a Switch 2. Send me your mailing information. We've done a bunch of giveaways before, so same process. But yeah, you need to just comment, I need a Switch 2. I want to say this too. The comments are rolling in. There's hundreds of comments already on that video. And in that video, which is less than a minute long, I gave instructions. One of the instructions is subscribe to the channel. The other instruction is that in the comment, no matter what you say, you need to include I need a Switch 2. And some of you are actually failing at this because you're writing, I need a Switch 2. And that is not going to actually be entered into the giveaway. The reason is I gave very specific instructions. The instructions say Anita, ANITA, Switch 2. So watch the video again and make sure that your comment actually follows the directions and not, a lot of people are just putting, I need a Switch 2 and I love the content and love your channel, blah, blah, blah. And I appreciate that. But for whatever reason, you watch this video, which is under a minute. I actually made it short on purpose so that if your attention span is small, I don't inundate you with
it could be a YouTube short. In fact, we might make it one.
That is a good idea. But my problem is I cannot believe that a video that is under a minute is like people are having a hard time with that, and it's mind-boggling to me because it's like, bro, you only have to do one thing, really. So please, if you are a person that wrote I need a Switch 2 or anything that doesn't include the specific keyword in it, ANITA, Anita, it's kind of a joke that goes back to when Drake was streaming a while ago and he said, I need a max win. And he was doing some gambling fucking platform thing. He was like, I need a max win. And then he started making merch that says Anita max win on it. And it was this big thing. It was this big thing on the internet. And whether you know about that or not is not the point. The point is you were given instructions. Just, make sure you follow them. Otherwise, you're going to be disappointed when you're not even eligible to win it. You're not even a part of the giveaway because you didn't write the right thing. And that's all. And you only have to do that. That's all you have to do. I'm only asking for that one thing. So
sad face.
Just putting that out there. Anyway, let me start reading off these names. Thank you guys so much for your support. We have Sharing is Caring, Quest, Xavier Swift, This Ain't God, This is Stanley Earl, Hanging with Epstein, Serial Gatekeeper, love that name by the way, Henri Reynolds, Red Vines, Mitchell Niles, Vince, Dallas Bailey, KJ, How Much Media You Got, Sarah Maria, Alex Ahern, FT Campa, Edison Club, Big Boar, Grok, Sugal, Vicky Venomon, Elijah Barfold, Tyler Today, Evolving the Mega Monarch. It's a mystery as we make our way through Ryan and Tyler's history. So join us as we go through the IMNerd Progression Series, Season 2. Janitor 215, Joshua Carroll, Eric Chai, Brian Moore, Nothing Beats a Just You Holiday to Pilot Mountain, Gingerilla, Darling Hold My Hand, Tim Bailey's Glaze, Move Butt, Real Nika, DeMarco Santos, Cormac Newton, Kenny, I Got 50K for You Dog, Hershey Bar and Poister, Tyler Frasher, and Dan,
Sasha Egger, Daniel Anderson, Deroa, Ask the Master Sleeping is Goated, Jordan Eastman, Robert Light, Clanger, Fantan Andrea, HT19, Gregory Calmaring, Charles Thurin, Limbiska Jigsaw, Mike and John, Rich Silverberg, Santi, Frago, Anthony Japov, Michael Zhang, Tyler, Chris Louie, Luis Juarez, Julian Weidman, The Hopeless One, Nicholas Cook, Ian Baylor, Choo Choo Train, Raj, Chris Kemp, Golems Are People Too, Trace Kreminga, Pearson Boyer, Uri Leok, Daniel Brando, Jackson Conrad, Chris Flores, Blake Smith Will Deep Fry Your Twinkie, Smiley Face, Justin Herman, Chess Prime, Connor Ketchum, Nova HD, Mass22, Carl Waite, Idris Hosni, Chris Johnston, Joseph, Chris Hurayet, Jtronic, Ryan Marple, and Dean Nguyen.
Again, thank you guys so much. Shout out to Dean Nguyen or Dean Nguyen. If that last name, that Vietnamese last name is like the most common one, and I've been taught how to say it correctly multiple times, but sometimes I still fall into the traps. Shout out to Dean. Shout out to Ryan. You guys are like our 2 newest Patreon members, so we appreciate you, guys. As always, they do things that make you happy, including having a good day on purpose. We'll catch you in the next one.
Have a good day on purpose. So long, gay bowels are on purpose.
So long on purpose.